I guess that's good enough. Welcome to It's Erik Nagel. 866-969-1969 is the phone number if you want to get in touch with us here on the program. It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Not Instagram, though. I'm not going that far. Instagram's still staying E-Rock Radio. Sorry, just got to deal with that. E-Rock Radio for all my stuff. Matt OG is here with me each and every week, if he can be, my co-host. Matt, how are you?
I'm here almost each and every week, except for when you're doing fun things like going to San Diego and Miami.
Oh, no.
Somehow I have terrible family that schedules their shitty weddings and other events around it.
Right, wedding aside, but you got to go to London, so
I did
that's
get
not
to go
bad.
to London. I'm not knocking London, but yes, I am here, and it's always a pleasure.
Geek Stuff OG on all the social media for him. Giddles is back. Giddle Base.
Yo, what up?
On social media. How are you?
Not too bad. Tired.
Yeah.
Long weeks.
Believe me, I feel you. You have AGT going on.
Yeah, man.
How's that been?
It's good. I left in a kind of a flurry about 5 minutes ago while everything was on fire, and I'll see you guys in 3 hours. And I kind of left.
This isn't rendering. Where are you going? I got a show to do.
Yeah, like I have more important things to
I don't
do.
care about your clip show.
But it's going pretty good.
And Lisa Crayo's back. How are you?
Meow.
Well, that was interesting. Hi.
Hey-o.
Hi, guys. What's up?
I don't know. Something happened with the board here. I don't know why people keep changing things around here. And for some reason, this part of the board is yellow. And adjusting balance and phase and all that stuff. And it shouldn't be. And I don't know why.
So the question is anybody actually hearing us right now? Is the question.
I hear you.
I think maybe that did
I think you sound great.
Well, I always do sound great. I
Yeah.
mean, not to pat myself on the back or anything.
All right.
You got this. You got
It's
this,
a
Eric.
huge control panel
It
going
is.
on here.
It's a brand new, very expensive digital board that they bought for us a while back, and it took forever because it's not like you can just plug this in and connect to, hardwire to the computer, to a CD player, to the phones, whatever. It's all one fiber optic cable
Right.
that has to be routed to each individual channel and setting, and all has to be done through a computer. It's like a router at home.
Sure.
You can plug it in, but you have to actually hook it to a computer to adjust the settings because you can't just use the router alone.
Yeah,
Right?
it's not plug and play.
No. So that's what this whole thing here is. So
So
if
is the
anything gets
solution-
screwed up, you're kind of fucked because you don't have an engineer here who has to, hook this up to a computer and run through the whole process of trying to fix this thing.
You can't just unplug it, wait 15 seconds to plug it back in.
We could, but you know what? Doing it on a two country
wires.
scale might be. We'll be back in 30 seconds, world. Let's just reset this and see how it goes. But I think everything's working now. I'll test something
You
out
look
in
like
a
a
little bit.
pilot. There's so many buttons over there and
I
lights.
know, it glows, and then we'll see aliens, and nobody will believe us. That's just how the life is of a pilot. This is probably, we're here, we're organized. I forgot the prizes. They're in the back. I'll go get those during the break. But we have a lot to do. We have a lot of people booked and whatnot. But this is probably one of my most, and I don't like being completely unorganized.
Okay.
I don't have anything. I mean, we have content, believe me, but I don't have any papers or any of that stuff in front of me that I usually do because here's a little inside radio for you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
Going on vacation, as much as the fans want to bitch that the show's on vacation or we're taking too much time off or whatever.
Sure.
I get what they're talking about. I don't agree with it, but I understand where they're coming from. Going on vacation does not mean going on vacation for me because
No.
I have to build and adjust everything for the show, for the channel, for the other shows, all that stuff. So that takes a lot of time.
Sure.
And I'm in the midst of that right now because Opie and Jim are now off for the next 2 weeks. And so next week is best of stuff. Some shows are live, some aren't. The week after that is Sideshow Week, which we're going to get into in a little bit.
Nice.
And our involvement with that. So that has to be adjusted to make sure, things are going for those shows and those properties. There's just a lot to do. So I'm in every direction. So if I'm going off course or if I'm not paying attention or something, snap,
on target.
scream, just blatantly expose me on the air that you're not listening to me.
All right.
Or you're not doing this
I mean, we
right.
do that anyway most weeks.
Yeah.
So.
No, but this is the part where it's not fun.
Oh, okay.
Other parts are fun because I just kind of tune you out. I'm like, why am I here? But
Wow.
other times,
Fair enough.
it's just like, there's just so much stuff here. Matt was nice enough to print out some articles, and the prep sheets and everything, and I haven't looked at this. So
Did you see mine, Eric?
I saw your emails. Oh, yours are blank. That means you're not of importance to this show, I guess.
I have so many papers here. I'm just shuffling papers.
There's so much to talk about.
Let's go with the guests first, and then get into the nitty-gritty, if you will.
Sure.
On tonight's
let's do it.
program, in about 20 minutes, we're going to talk to Justin. I'm hoping I'm saying this. Is it Roiland? Right? Not Roland. Roiland?
I'm pretty sure it's Roiland.
Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty. He's one of the co-creators, co-producers. He does almost all the voices for the show. He'll be calling in a little bit. We're going to talk to him about how awesome season 2 is, and the news that just came out that they signed for season 3, which is great to hear. And hopefully it won't take another 3 years or something like that until season 3 comes around. So we'll talk to him. Plus, we have a giveaway for that interview. We have a signed season 1 DVD set of Rick and Morty.
Nice.
By Justin Roiland, by Dan Harmon, and Chris Parnell, who plays the dad on the show.
Right.
So that's a big get if you're
Rick.
the guy that wins that, or the
Jerry.
girl that wins
Jerry.
that. And, shut up, Jerry. And so we'll have that. Later, Nikki Bella from the WWE is going to be calling in. We're going to talk some SummerSlam. If you guys want to be a part of that, I get it. But if you don't, I know you guys aren't big into the wrestling. That's fine. I'll take care of that. Rooster McConaughey will be on the show. Matthew McConaughey's brother.
I
Yes.
assumed as much.
If your last name's McConaughey, how do you name your kid Rooster?
Well, McConaughey could be like Smith over
was
in,
gonna say-
in Scotland and Ireland or something like that.
If your last name is anything, how do you name your kid Rooster?
I don't know.
His name's
Yeah,
not
when is
Rooster,
it
it's his
okay?
nickname.
I know that.
But he's a multi-millionaire.
Eric.
Yes. Again, see, this is what I'm talking about here. You're not listening. Just do this. Hello.
Hello.
Pay attention. Yeah, so multi-millionaire. He has a new show on CNBC called West Texas Investors Club. So we'll talk to him and his partner, Butch Gilliam, about that.
Nice.
And then later, probably towards the end of the show, is Candace Cameron-Bure.
Ooh.
You know who she is?
Growing pains. No, not growing
That's her
pains.
brother.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
had some growing pains.
Full House.
Full House. I knew it was one of those shows.
Full House. She has
that's
a brand
right.
new book, and also Fuller House is in development right now for Netflix, I believe. So we'll talk to her about all of that great stuff. So a lot to do here. Plus, we'll have a book that we'll get her to sign and give that away as well.
Nice.
I thought we were just going to read a book on the air.
We could read a book. That'll kill some time. We can do that.
It'll be a picture book, so everyone's got to really look
We
hard.
don't have to kill time. Can I just say that again?
Eric's always like, yeah, we got to kill time. Like, no, I don't think we
I
do.
don't think we have to kill
It's
time.
all about killing time. It's just how you do it and how you present it to the audience. It's like, look, all right, we got 3 hours. We're just going to read from a cookbook, and that's going to be the first
That's it.
hour. Second hour, we'll talk about a video game.
First up, pork chops.
What else do we have? Do you want to... Oh, well, let's mention Sideshow while we're at it.
Okay.
Not next week, but the week after, Wednesday, August 26th. This program here, it's Erik Nagel, myself, Matt, Giddles, and Lisa will be filling in for Opie and Jimmy.
Nice.
And we'll be doing the morning show.
Yeah, man.
So from 7 to 10 a.m., it's a brand new opportunity to drive away the listeners.
Pretty much.
So this is going to be awesome.
That's why it's called drive time.
Right. So on that program, the guests that we have confirmed so far, our pal Brian Johnson's going to be coming in.
Excellent.
And, when Brian Johnson comes in, other people just decide to show up, and that's great.
And we love that.
Last time, Brian Quinn from the
Yep.
Practical Jokers and Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast was there. Maybe he shows up. Maybe Walt shows up. Maybe Ming. Who knows?
All right.
Somebody may be showing up, well, but we definitely know Brian's going to be here.
Sure.
Then we're going to talk to Brian's best friend in the world, Mr. Kevin Smith.
Ooh, wow.
He'll be calling into
That's
the
awesome.
program. Unless he's here in New York, he promised if he's here, he's coming in.
Nice.
If not, he's going to be on the phone. So either way, we'll talk to Kevin Smith, which is really awesome. And Felicia Day.
Oh.
She will grace us with her presence.
Oh, lovely.
She has a brand new book that we're going to talk about, and that should be a lot of fun. People
Excellent.
like the Felicia Day,
Well-
especially if they're into redheads.
Or they're in any part of the geek subculture. She's kind of a important figurehead
Right.
in the geek subculture.
But this
For
way,
the listeners at home and not Giddles, who is Felicia Day?
Felicia Day.
I was just about to do that, but thank you for asking.
The Geek and Sundry channel on YouTube. She was the one who did The Guild.
Okay.
If you remember that show, The Guild.
The Guild was one of the first web series.
Yeah, like the
it was like a
YouTube
television
thing?
series, but a
Yeah.
web series to actually take off and capture the attention of the YouTube community, the online community. Microsoft wound up buying the Guild and putting it all on all
I
their
think it had
platforms.
6 seasons too.
Right.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And it was a unique deal too, because she not only did the deal with Microsoft, but she maintained the rights to the show, so she could do whatever she wants with it. And Microsoft is pretty much, I guess, the distribution, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's quite a big deal, like Matt said.
Did
in
you
the geek
see
community.
Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog?
I have seen that, yeah.
She was Penny in the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog.
Okay.
She's also she's Charlie on Supernatural.
Yeah,
if you watch that
yeah,
show.
she's on like
No.
a ton of things.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to her, and that's August 26th.
Nice.
7 a.m. Eastern here on Opie Radio. We'll be filling in. So where do we want to go first? What do we want to talk about here?
Well, I want to talk about the Berenstein Bears.
The parallel universe,
the parallel universe, but I'm throwing it out to you guys. What do you guys
Let's
want
go
to
with
talk
the
about?
Berenstain Bears
All right.
then.
So have you heard anything about this, Eric?
I saw the news story come up. I read the headline and I said, that is ridiculous.
Okay.
And then I went back to editing.
So this is something that I actually lived in the last couple of years in my life. I have a young boy at home who likes cartoons, and we were watching the Berenstain Bears. And the first time I showed it to him, I was like, yeah, we're going to put on the Berenstain Bears, because that's what I remember it. It was the Berenstain Bears, the books. I remember the cartoon.
Yep.
No,
I don't remember it being Stain.
that's what the whole
That's what this is
the
about.
whole
That's the
story
controversy.
is
Okay.
that there's this whole generational like amnesia where we all remember Berenstain. For whatever reason, I don't know if it was a mispronunciation.
Not me. I remember Berenstain, and I thought I was wrong because for years I heard people say Berenstein, but I'm like, but I thought it was Berenstain when I was a kid. So
So the authors are actually Berenstain. That's the correct pronunciation of their
Right.
last name, right? So that is actually supposed to be correct. But so now there's this bizarro like theory out there that it involves parallel dimensions. So you would be parallel dimension A because you
Okay.
remember the Berenstain, and you would be E, and I would be E because you remember Berenstein.
Yeah, I remember Berenstain.
See,
I remember Berenstain.
it sounds like a Rick and Morty plot.
It sounds like schizophrenia is what it sounds like.
But it's really weird because a lot of people that I know that I spoke to remember Berenstain, not Stain. You're the first
Right.
person I know that I spoke to in person that remembered Berenstain.
Yeah, same here.
So I don't know.
I don't get it.
You're
I
the
don't get it all,
adult.
but it's like this weird internet phenomenon right now, and I think it's kind of
and I
interesting
loved
and
them
funny.
when I was a kid, so I have clear memories of Berenstain.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't think they ever say their name on the show outside of the intro song. Like I remember it in the song.
I don't even remember the song.
I remember
I'm gonna
the
have to look
books.
it up.
Deep in the heart of Bear Country,
Keep singing.
Berenstein Fair Family.
Man.
You remember that at all?
No. I remember the books. They didn't sing.
They did not sing in the books. No. But yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's this weird. And then you start talking about parallel dimensions. And
See if I got this
that,
right.
That
here.
just
Hang
gets.
on.
Well, another theory apparently is that what is this?
See?
There
This is
you go.
it?
Lives the Bernstein Bear family.
Hold on, look how it's spelled on the YouTube video.
Well, that's completely wrong.
Berenstein.
This is the German
The
version.
German ones.
I don't. Was this on CBS or something? I don't remember this.
I don't
Honestly,
remember this
I
at all.
don't remember.
The Bernstein Bear.
This is like.
Berenstein Bears.
Do you remember the other kids' book, The Very Busy World of Richard Scarry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I had no idea it was a TV show. I always knew it as a kids books.
I don't even know that. I don't know them at all.
It's like a snake with a vest and a hat with a feather in it.
Why would a
All right.
snake need a vest?
That sounds like Wayside
I mean, I
School
guess
is
they
Falling
probably-
Down or Sideways Stories from Wayside School. Do you remember those books?
No.
Yeah, I guess a
read.
vest
That's
makes
just
more
me.
sense than a jacket. It doesn't have arms.
Right.
I don't know. Well, they're doing the Goosebumps thing as like a horror movie now.
Yeah, but have you seen
But
the
that's
trailer?
kind of
for the
cool, though.
Goosebumps
I
thing?
think that's kind of.
But have
good
you
that they're
seen
doing that.
have you seen the trailer for it?
No.
I actually saw the trailer for it in front of Minions. I think.
Real quick, that's Richard Scarry. You never saw this at all.
I don't remember that at all.
All the animals have really big, weird feet for some reason.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
They're
world.
like clown shoes.
So the
See,
Goose.
and look, the worm drives an apple car.
Yes.
I have no recollection of
Why
this.
does the worm drive an apple?
Why am I-
None of this makes any sense.
None of
to
this
me.
makes sense.
It's
any
all
sense to me.
sexual innuendo.
That's what I'm
If
thinking.
you really read into it.
Look, the monkey drives a banana car.
See?
There's a
Racist.
cat eating. No. Look at that.
I don't know what's going
Wait,
on.
one of those
right
is
now.
a hot dog car, which I've seen because the Oscar Mayer guys have, but another one's corn. Like, no one drives a corn car.
The pig drives a corn
I mean, we
car.
drive cars that run on corn.
That one has a hot dog car.
Look at this one's driving a pickle car.
The chicken's driving an egg car.
And is this mouse? What is that?
I think this is what Eric
that
dreams
driving?
about at night. It's just like driving hot dog cars.
No, this is real
pickle
life.
cars.
I see all penises and vaginas.
So there you go. Yeah, that works too.
Clearly, you are the sane one here. But that's Richard Scary. Sorry, what you were saying.
So I was saying the Goosebumps movie is it's kind of like the characters from the books come alive in the movie.
Okay.
So it's weird. It's like all of the different Goosebumps. I don't know what brings them to life exactly in the trailer. I couldn't tell. But
Imagination.
it's, I guess, if you want. You really are disorganized.
Look at this.
It's not disorganized. It's pulling stuff up.
I promise. And
Goosebumps.
I opened into it legally. I can't live on my own until I'm 18.
So you're the new neighbor?
Yeah, I'm Zach.
Which Arquette sister is that? That's playing the mom.
I gotta go.
Is that Roseanne Arquette?
Hi.
No. Is it Roseanne? It's not Patricia, so maybe it is Roseanne.
Jack Black.
It is Jack
Oh,
Black.
Jack Black looks like Tom Arnold.
Big teddy bear.
I think he's playing R.L. Stein, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Steen.
Steen.
R.L. Stain.
Oh, who's Hannah?
She's locked in this house, and her dad's a psychopath.
I hung out with Arl Stein's son a couple times and partied.
I don't
He lives
get
in the
how.
city.
So there's a guy next door who writes books. Is that what
The guy next door is R.L. Stein.
Snowman of Pasadena?
It's called Goosebumps because they don't have any heat.
Why are these books locked?
Boo.
Sorry, I'll put it back like long. Here it is.
No, don't open it!
Wow, it's Jumanji.
Yeah.
It's like a combination between Jumanji
Yeah.
and Tomorrowland.
So the guy dropped a book, and what is that? Abominable Snowman?
Yeah, or Sasquatch or one
Yeti?
of them. Yeti.
A sound.
Yeah, it's basically Jumanji.
Okay, so they live next to R.L. Stein.
And something
books come
happens,
to life.
and all the books come to life. There was a creepy clown in that last shot. I can't go see this movie now.
There's
I'm
an
off of
invisible.
creepy
He just
clowns.
hit the invisible man with a car, and you only know because you saw handprints hit the glass.
You know what this is? This is just Pixels, but with the Goosebumps books. That's all this is.
But is this better than Pixels?
Oh, yeah, obviously, but-
Remember,
that's the question.
weren't we talking about how Pixels was? Oh no, that was Fantastic Four. How it was another movie that they slapped something on top of it and made
Yes.
it Fantastic Four. I was gonna say maybe
yeah.
this is what they were doing with Pixels.
Maybe.
Cannot let the monsters inside.
What is this?
Again, I see all penises and vaginas.
So there you go.
The Wolfman has nards.
I don't think that I'm gonna. I don't think I'm
wrong
gonna
movie.
seek this one out. Good movie though. I don't think I'm seeking this one out.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
tossing it out there.
I think I'd watch this if this was on FX, like on a Saturday
Yeah,
or something.
maybe.
This kind of looks like a kid's version of Cabin in the Woods with like all the different monsters coming out.
You know, it looks like a scary version of Night at the Museum.
Ugh.
I never read the Goosebumps. All right, we're done with this.
Yeah,
There's
we're can
gnomes
we- yeah,
now.
we turn this
You've
off.
lost me.
Yeah.
The Goosebumps books, I always knew they were out there, and I know they've been big for a long time. But what are they all just like Stephen King stories, but for kids?
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
like kind of scary, spooky stories, but for kids. They were my sister read them, so they were a couple of years, I guess, younger than me.
Yeah, it's
They
like
were kinda
horror
like-
stories for beginners, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like the like Are You Afraid of the Dark, like Nickelodeon kids
Yeah,
show.
I remember
With,
that.
Like the little stories, and each one was like a separate story. So it was just like, oh no, the Phantom at the roller coaster park, and,
Right.
murder
And then it
stuff
became
like
a
that.
show as well.
Yeah,
And then right after that was Erie, Indiana.
yeah.
Ooh, Erie, Indiana.
There you go.
That freaking
That impressed
time zone change.
nobody. All right. Andrew in Missouri wants in. Andrew, wait, let's turn the phones on. Andrew, how are you?
That's
Hey, good. How you doing?
Good. What's up, man?
I just want to say, when I was a kid, it was the Berenstain Bears.
exactly.
Stin?
It's either Ian or Ian.
Berenstain Bears.
Maybe is it a dialect thing? Maybe is it like where you grew up kind of thing? But where did you grow up? You grew up.
In Pompano Beach,
Yeah.
Florida.
So we pretty much don't have accents, I guess.
Yeah, it's so bizarre that like we all have this this distinct different recollection of how it is.
Well, this country doesn't read. And it's been very well noted for many years that this country just doesn't really focus on books. There's people who say they do. I think a lot of it is just to say that they read books. But overall, as a nation, not reading that many books. So everyone's going to interpret it as their own because maybe they don't know how to read.
I honestly think that this became a bigger thing when the cartoon came out because then everybody actually heard it pronounced.
No,
some
only you did
people
because
say-
nobody else remembered the cartoon.
But some people say they remember it on the cartoonist scene as well. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a bizarre story to me.
So let's wrap this up here because I see Justin on hold.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can go to that.
So the Berenstain or Berenstain is how it's
so if
written.
you're from Parallel Universe A, you say Stain. If you're Parallel Universe E, you say
all about
Stein.
stains.
So there you go.
I'm going to go with...
You and your penis and vagina references all night. What is going on?
Let's clean this up. We're talking about a beloved children's series.
Yeah?
Like a chocolate
bunch
on
of
my
Jewish
shirt
bears in the
reference.
So,
all right.
Pretty much, it's just saying
this is off the tracks.
This is just saying everything you knew growing up was wrong.
Yes, everything you know is wrong.
Up is down and short is long.
That's right. Thank you, Weird Al, for summing
everything
up
that
the
you think is
Berenstain
important
Bears.
doesn't really matter because everything you know is wrong.
Exactly.
That's
All
pretty
right.
true.
You know what? Let's just forget the words and sing along and
There you
speak
go.
to Justin Roiland. Justin, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, thank you for calling in. I'm really happy that we get a chance to talk to you here. We made these arrangements just because we're big fans of the show, and season 2 is underway. We're about 3 or 4 episodes into season 2, and we're very excited. And just by luck, the announcement right before we get to talk to you the other day was that you signed for season 3.
Yeah. We season 3 is official. We're excited.
I would be. Just
It's
please,
happening.
please just make it shorter between seasons than season 1 and 2.
Yeah, believe me, Lazo. We're working on ways to try to speed things up. That would make Lazo very happy. We're painfully aware of these insane breaks that we have.
Were you when you put this show out and you came up with the idea for the show? Obviously, it's a passion project for you and Dan, but did you have any inkling that this show would blow up to the level that it did?
No, not at all. I mean, it's crazy because, obviously that's the hope. Like, the hope is that, hey, maybe this will catch on and people will really like it. And I think, we obviously followed our bliss in developing it, like creating a vehicle that was sort of going to be the most effortless for us to kind of tell the crazy stories we want to tell. But we had no idea that it was going to blow up like it did, as quick as it did. We kind of figured, hey, like as a sci-fi show, you've got a family, so that's a pretty easy point of entry for most people. You're sort of Trojan horsing high sci-fi concepts in through the guise of like just a regular family animated sitcom, which tends to connect with a lot of people. So we knew we had that going for us, but we really had no we had no idea that it was going to get this popular so quickly. It's really humbling and awesome.
Did you think
wait, real quick, can I ask you? Did you have Nikki Bella on or the Bella twins on?
She's coming on a little bit later.
Oh man, tell her a huge fan.
Oh, definitely will.
Me and my fiance watch the Total Divas all the time, and it's crazy. I had lunch with Seamus, and I think half the time we were just talking about, or I was just asking him, like, how fake is that show? What's going on? Like, what's really going on? Give me the dirt,
That's so weird to ask a wrestler who gets asked all the time how fake is wrestling for you to say, how fake is that reality show?
Yeah, exactly. It's cool. We all know wrestling's fake, so now let's get to let's talk about this
God
reality.
damn it, Justin. Now you ruined that and Santa Claus for me.
Man.
Next thing you know, the Tooth Fairy will be bunk.
Yeah. So did you... I have a question. Did you think, because I saw the original, like, Rick and Morty Channel 100 animation probably, like, close to 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Did you think when you made that it was going to blow up into this TV show, or is it something you revisited and said, hey, that was a great idea, we should keep going with that?
It's crazy because, here's the thing. Like, I made that short just to blow off some steam. Obviously, yeah. Yeah. I was, like, I love to... I've told people this before with that original short. It was like, it was being screened in front of an audience of like 400 people. And I just love to hear an audience scream in disgust. and it's such a cool feeling. And that's the only reason why I made that, really was to just hear a bunch of people go, oh God, please, change it.
Yeah, when I was watching it in my dorm room, and I remember people coming in and basically saying that. They're like, why are you watching this? And I'm like, it's fucking hilarious. Like, this is great.
Yeah. It definitely made me laugh really hard, but part of that laughter was infused with the idea that 300 people were going to be watching this in a theater and like just like, oh, how funny is this? They're going to be so freaked out when this like escalates the way it does. But like, obviously, it's like a really bad, spoof of Marty McFly and Doc Brown.
Yeah.
And I was like really just kind of blowing off steam. But then what happened is throughout the course of making that, I really found like that doing my horrible impressions of these characters was so much fun. So I kept kind of plugging those two voices into all these different projects over the years. So it's kind of like it isn't so much that Dan saw that and said, this is something, like this is something special. I mean, he definitely saw the joy that went into it, and like just the unbridled, happiness that I had making it. But like, nobody said, oh, this is something special. We need to do something with this. I just kept plugging those voices in. And when Dan called me and said, hey, Adult Swim wants to do a show, what do you got? I was like, well, what about these two voices that I keep putting in everything that I develop? Wow. And he's like, yeah, those are great. So I just kept forcing it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like anybody was like, oh, this is great. I just kept forcing them into everything I did. So eventually, if anything struck, it was going to be with these two voices. I don't know why.
Is the Morty voice a take? You remember the old claymation Davy and Goliath?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Davy has that weird, like almost stuttering, high-pitched voice. Well, I don't know if we should do that like that. And Morty does the same thing. Is it based on that, or is it just a coincidence?
No, that's a coincidence. I mean, it was really my horrible Marty McFly. And then, when we do the pilot, because like you saw, I mean, obviously we were just talking about the original short. In the original short, it's much higher pitched and way more annoying. And that was the way I was playing it in the pilot. And Lazo hated that. Like he didn't like it. A lot of people didn't really like it. And so we actually were casting. We had 2 rounds of casting to replace me as the Morty voice. And the whole while I was like, I think I can, like, I think it's important that I do both of these voices just because I'll run scenes as the 2 characters, and that's kind of important to the creative process in terms of just the tone of the show. So I kept very respectfully, honing it and asking, like, what can I do to sort of win you over? And, the big thing was, like, just make him a little deeper, a little more grounded, not as annoyingly warbly and high-pitched. And then so I did that, and I won him over. I did the pilot, and then I kind of slowly, went back to that. I mean, it's like kind of like over. I mean, it's still not as crazy as it was, but like I slowly kind of crept back up into that area from time to time. On certain episodes, it gets like, oh, geez.
I think you hit that. I think you hit that register in the episode of The Sex Robot. You came out and drank orange juice, and you're like, back upstairs, and then you ran.
Yeah. That's one that I don't think they can rerun like before a certain time, because it's like we got a 14-year-old kid character that's having sex with a busty sex robot upstairs in his bedroom
and impregnates her.
That's making Zardoz babies with.
But one of the unique points of writing for this show is that particular scene. I'll use for those who don't know. While Morty's upstairs with this sex robot, downstairs the setting is the family's at the dinner table having a meal, having breakfast. Sorry, the breakfast table having breakfast. And they're hearing the noise of the bed springs upstairs, and they're all just looking at the ceiling and looking at each other like this is really awkward. And it keeps going, and the mom's like, I think you should go upstairs and do something about this. And he's like, oh, he's a kid, whatever. And then the grandfather, who is Rick, is down there. He's like, leave him alone or whatever. Morty comes down, has orange juice, goes back upstairs. He continues, and then he says, Rick, could you come up here, please? So Rick goes up there, and then the father just goes, okay, now this is weird. I'm going up there. I'm like, wow, that's really, really deep and dark to get away with on a Cartoon Network.
Well, Adult Swim technically, but yeah, like, I mean, we have the full support of the network, and they've been incredibly, I don't know what the word, just like, cool with us doing whatever we want to do, within reason, obviously. We self-police, ourselves. We kind of like in the writers' room, we're real cautious. Like, we don't want to cross. There's certain lines you don't want to cross with the audience. You want to make sure all the characters stay relatable, and all the characters are that there's no kind of nothing that the audience sees and gets turned off.
I would love to know what kinds of things you decided not to
I was
put
just
in.
thinking the same thing.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the parallel universe Rick and Morty hookup isn't going to happen.
No, that won't likely happen, despite the desire by many to see it. But yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to even, like, there's so many ideas in the writer's room, you know what I mean, that we sort of, like, self-filter. I couldn't even think of a specific one. But we have a really good sense of, like, maintaining our characters and keeping everything, keeping the show and all the characters from doing anything that would turn anyone off in any real significant way. You know what I mean? Like, obviously we want people to love these two characters despite their flaws. I mean, Rick is a very flawed character, but if you kind of show glimpses of, his sort of weaknesses and stuff, it kind of makes him more human, and you can kind of accept. Also, he just doesn't give a. Can you swear on this?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck, so it's like you kind of respect him for it. It's like, okay, he's a dick, but like he owns it,
Well, I think if anyone watched last week's episode, they'll definitely know that Rick's got some feelings by the end of that episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's got demons, he's got a lot of issues, but he's also pretty awesome too. So
with all of that being said, if you were given the opportunity to do, let's say, like a Rick and Morty movie, direct to DVD or something, do you think you would kind of go balls to the wall with it? Or would you just push that line just a little bit further than you think you could now?
Honestly, I don't think I would change anything. I think if we were to do a movie, it would just be us really figuring out, okay, because a lot of times in the writer's room with an episode, the standard sort of like cliched sci-fi premise, we try to burn through that within the first act, and then continue going forward and escalating it further to places not very many people or potentially nobody's ever done, and just see how that goes. And I think we'd probably find ourselves doing the same with a movie, but times 10, you know what I mean? Like, how can we really take some kind of sci-fi thing and just blow it out and burn through the initial, tried and true premise within the first 10 minutes, and then just go so much further with it. But I don't know, like, right now I'm just like, how can we just get the episodes done on time? You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine adding a movie into the pipeline. That would really gum up the works.
With season 2 and the way the direction was going towards the end of season 1, when did it? Because it's Rick and Morty, but when did you decide, along with the writing, to focus more on Rick's antics? It's sort of like, when The Simpsons started out, they were focusing on Bart, but they realized Homer was the star. Was it something like that?
No, I mean, honestly, I think like we always kind of knew. I mean, once we got into writing the first season, we kind of knew like Rick's just such a more dynamic character. You know what I mean? Like Morty just really is a high school kid, and then he's got layers to him, but Rick is just so much more. There's so much more going on, stuff that we don't even know as writers yet. We're not even fully informed as to what Rick's full backstory is, and he's just such a dynamic character with so much shit going on that it was inevitable that we were going to really focus in on him from time to time moving forward with the show. Wasn't really a lot of times in the we don't really have a master plan that we follow. We kind of just follow our bliss in that room. It's like whatever storylines or concepts really get us excited, those are the ones that we keep moving forward with. And a lot of stuff that we may really want to do kind of just falls by the wayside just for lack of initial excitement or continued inspiration, behind the ideas.
Any chance there's
organic?
Is there any chance there's going to be like another like 60 Minutes type episodes coming up where maybe they watch House of Cosby's?
Oh God, how depressing is the whole Cosby thing?
Oh my God! Well, I was rewatching it I was watching House of Cosby's with my roommates, and they're like, "This is just kind of sad and creepy and weird and funny all at the same time right now."
I'll point out when the Cosby situation really got depressing. Not that it's not a bad scenario for all the women that allegedly said all this happened to them. But for me, I grew up listening to Cosby's records. My dad had the records, so I listened to all of that stuff, and of course, watching the Cosby Show.
Bad Albert.
Here's where it got depressing for me, which was
pages.
No, screw picture pages. I told this story. I still never got my Mortimer Ichabod marker, and my mom sent the check. I never got the damn thing, so that's the grudge I hold with Bill Cosby. But outside of that, he was good with me up until all this recent stuff. What really got me depressed was when they took the sweater out of the Museum of Television or the Smithsonian, something like that. Smithsonian. Yeah. They took the sweater out, which was there with Fonzie's jacket and Archie Bunker's chair and all that, and
they found semen on it.
I was going to say, did they blacklight it?
Stain. Yeah, it's almost like this is a parallel universe where Bill Cosby is a rapist. Isn't that crazy?
It's a bummer because like you guys, I grew up as a huge fan, and the inspiration for House of Cosby's came from a place of love and just like he was a father figure and just a good guy, one of the good guys.
Yeah. So
when all this stuff came out, it was like just so depressing and heartbreaking because it was like, well, he's not a good guy like we all thought, and that sucks. And me and my buddy Savon were going to continue House of Cosby's and sort of wrap that storyline up. But it's like I'm not going to touch it now. Like it's like you said. Like you go back and watch it now, and it's so creepy. It's like this poor guy's surrounded by Cosbys.
So many of them. He's got bathtub Cosby. He's got Cosby 10.
They all have drinks.
Oh Jesus!
The worst.
Did you with writing season 2? Is it true that you responded to a lot of the listener backlash as far as Rick's belching and burping while speaking in his dialogue to cut that down?
No, like we even in season 1, like just naturally that started to shrink a little bit, and just across the first season, because the truth is that was always kind of part of that voice, and obviously when you're making a 5-minute short, it's fine, but when you go in to make 10 or 11 episodes of 22-minute shows, I don't command burps as effortlessly as one might seem. Like I'm not like Sarah Chalk can do it. I'm jealous. Like she can burp on command. I can't do that. So the process is really disgusting because I'll run through the script as scripted for both characters. Then I go and run scenes where I kind of just improv scenes with the two characters, and that's always important for every episode. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll start doing burp takes where I go back and there's a certain amount of lines that I circle that I want to go back and do burps in the middle of the line. And I'll tell the engineer, just leave it open. Like just keep recording. I don't know when the burps come in. And I have a beer, like a low-calorie beer, and then like a bottle of water. And I just suck air into my stomach and then like wait for the burp to come. And then I'll be like, whatever the line is, like, Morty, you gotta get over here more, in the middle of a line, and it's fucking gross. It's horrible. It's the worst.
All you have to do is get one great take and do what they do for Barney Gumble on The Simpsons, because every time he burps, it's the same burp for 26 years.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, I like the burps to be integrated into the line.
Yeah.
I like the idea that Rick has this gastrointestinal issue that he ignores. He powers through it. You know what I mean? It doesn't trip him up, or rarely does. We even have notes, like the design notes for the animators. Like whenever Rick burps, don't make him go cross-eyed or wall-eyed like Barney. He needs to stay focused. Like his eyes should always stay focused when he burps, and that's something that they're constantly always fucking that up, because we'll get color back, and it's like, oh, he's doing that thing with his eyes again. He needs to stay focused, like it doesn't faze him at all.
It kind of reminds me of if you remember the old kids show, You Can't Do That on Television. The guy who ran the burger place, Barth.
Yeah,
he would do the same thing as he talked to the kids.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, like naturally, I think just naturally, despite I actually haven't even seen that much. I try to stay away from it for the most part, but I haven't seen that much discussion about the burps. So I didn't even know that was a thing. But
I didn't either until I was out at San Diego Comic-Con, and I heard people talking about that. And I said,
"Oh, wow.
Why? There's so many things to talk about. Why are you nitpicking on that?" But it seemed to be a big deal. And then I looked up online, and there was, blogs and message boards and stuff saying, petitioning to cut that out.
No, see, my inclination would be at that point to just hit the gas pedal on it, 20 times as many, just to bother those people.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, people want the burps completely cut out?
Well, they're saying that it was too much, that it was too disgusting. I think it's great.
That's not the demographic for the show.
I was going to say, if the burp is what's grossing you out, then really you should not be watching that show.
Right, and these are the same people that are like, they put this on instead of Squidbillies.
I mean, listen, I get it. Like, everybody has a different perspective on that kind of stuff. Like to me, like farting and stuff, that would be like, I mean, I don't know. I would be like, oh, come on. That's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and I think to a lot of people that's how they perceive the burp stuff. It's just like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you being so, that's just so juvenile. I can get it. I totally get that, but that's not I don't have that same perspective on burps. It's kind of like, and I don't necessarily think they're funny either. That's the weird thing. I don't know why we even do it. It's always been a part of the character's voice, and we kind of never even, I don't think we've even ever had a creative conversation about it. It's just kind of been part of it.
You also just wrote yourself another storyline because you said Sarah is really good at the belching. Maybe a one thing where Rick and her switch minds, and she's got to be Rick and just belch through the whole scene.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a scene in season 1. I think it's the Counselor Rick's episode where she actually does burp to kind of show off for all the Ricks that are hanging out in the house.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was when I discovered how easy it is for her. I was like so jealous. Oh man.
It's funny. You say you don't even consider it that gross, right? And then obviously there's this whole contingent of people that want it to stop. I found, I actively noticed it probably the first handful of episodes that I watched, but the more I watched, it's not that I didn't notice it. Like, I know that it's there, but it's just part of the character. And I don't even think about it as a burp. I just think about it as that's just his speech. That's the way he communicates, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
that's how I think that's how we've been thinking of it for ever. I mean, even before we started working on the pilot, I think. And part of the reason why is because I had done a handful of shorts with these two voices, and that was sort of just how he talked. And so when we went into the pilot, that was just, it wasn't even a discussion. It was just, I mean, listen, if Harmon had said to me, I think we should lose the burping, we would have probably had a conversation and potentially that would have happened, but it just never even came up. It was just like, it was weird. So looking back on it, it's like, yeah, that's kind of, we never even thought about it.
Well, season 2 is on right now on Adult Swim. Sundays, it's 11 o'clock, right, or 11:30?
Sundays at 11:30.
11:30.
This next episode is one of my favorites of the season. It's really, really great.
Well, I don't know how you're going to top last week's episode with Blips and Chips.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I want to play Roy.
Who doesn't want to play Roy?
I know.
You're going to have to put
virtual reality stuff is really going to break next year, and then I think within the next 4 or 5 years, it's just gonna be insane. It's gonna be really insane.
So are you saying you're gonna make Roy within the next 4 or 5 years? Because that's what I'm hearing.
It's probably gonna be part of the, how Adult Swim puts out those game apps?
Yeah.
You got to do that.
I'd play.
I hope he just makes the Rick and Morty game where I'm Rick or Morty. That'd be better.
Well, or you can wait for Roy 2 when you're Dave.
Roy 2, Dave. Yeah, we definitely want to do. I mean, Harmon and I are huge gamers. Like almost to a fault. As in, it gets in the way of productivity. But so we would love to do a video game, and that's definitely something that eventually we hope we get the chance to do.
So yeah, definitely a game. Season 2 is it was 8 episodes for season 2? 10, great. So we're almost at the halfway point. So you still have time to go on demand and check out what you've missed so far. Of course, season 1 is out on DVD. You can get it on iTunes. You should definitely support these guys here. It's an amazing
the comics
show
too, and the comics are great.
Right, the comics are out.
Yeah, comics are really incredible. Zach Gorman and CJ Cannon are the writer-artist team, and it's just beautiful. And it's really cool. We're just kind of letting them do their thing. Like, we're not like I made the decision early on, like let's just get a good writer and just let them do whatever they want to do and just have fun with it and make it their own thing.
Was it
And
weird when they
so
started
cool.
to do it, and then you're like, I know I gave my blessing for them to write it, but you're seeing somebody write for your own creation? Is that you sit there and look at it and go, wow, this is a little weird?
No, I mean I love it because it's like it's just surreal. It's like, oh my god! And some of the stuff I'm like, shit, like this would have been really cool to explore for the show. So I'm kind of like, God, this guy's going to do all the best ideas before he's on a different schedule than us. He's able to just turn these things around. But
you're going to turn into your own Marvel. You'll make your movies, and then they're going to say the comics were better.
Yeah, I know, right? No, I mean, I really love the comics. I'm a fan, and I'm just it's so cool to have a comic based on something that you've created. It's really neat.
You guys also had an impressive display at the Adult Swim. I'll call it like a carnival or festival that was set up right outside of San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh yeah.
When you walk in, the spaceship is dug into the ground. And it's crashed, and the glass is broken, and Marty's sitting in there like, petrified with his mouth open, and Rick's walking away from the wreck with his flask like it was no big deal.
Yeah, it's amazing. I saw so many pictures of people like posing with Rick and stuff.
Right.
And then,
I'm one of
also,
them.
Of course,
I'll post it later and embarrass myself.
Yeah, do it, post it. But we also got a lot of backlash from a lot of the drunk driving organizations because we were promoting drunk driving, which we weren't.
All you have to say is, there's a spaceship.
Yeah.
Argument over.
They didn't know there was a planet there.
Right, exactly. Before we get out of here, Justin, I do have to ask you about your Simpsons the beginning slate that you did for The Simpsons, where Rick and Morty crashed into the couch gag and kind of took over. You guys haven't been around that long, and The Simpsons only in the last handful of years started inviting guest animators in to do some things. What was that like when you got the call that they wanted you to do that?
It was insane. Because obviously, everybody in animation has been influenced by The Simpsons, whether they want to admit it or not. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the show, and I've been since I was a little kid. So, even to just hear that Matt Groening really loved Rick and Morty, I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it at first. I was like, no, that's. I need proof. I need evidence of this. And then I'm friends with a few writers like Tom Gamble, Max Prost, who've been writing on it for like 13 years. And then when they reached out to me and told me, I was like, holy crap, he's a fan. So that whole thing was weird because I asked him if he wanted to do a commentary track on the DVD, and he enthusiastically agreed to do it. And then during the recording of that commentary, which is on the DVD, the season 1 DVD, Al Jean actually offers us a couch gag in the middle of the commentary. And when my coordinator got back from that, I told my line producer, this guy Mike Mandel, I'm like, you got to call Al Jean and find out if that's a real offer. If it is, yes. The answer is
you
yes.
said it, no backsies.
yeah, exactly. I was like, that's insane. I mean, like you said, we're a season 1 show. It's just humbling and crazy to be invited to do something like that on such a legendary show like that. It's crazy.
Well, I'm very, happy for all of your success. I'm really happy that season 2 is here and season 3 just got announced. So, like we said, hopefully it's a short time between. I know there's a lot of work in animation and that goes into all of this. But when season 2 is over to when season 3 starts, Giddles wants a video game.
I can't wait. I want to get the shirt that has the Rick and Morty like video game cartridge, like an 8-bit adventure one. I think.
Yeah.
I think it was posted from like the Zen Studios or whatever. It looks awesome.
Yeah, Zen Monkey Studios. Yeah, we're actually.
That's our pal Josh Merman.
Yep.
Yeah, Josh. Yeah, we're making a bunch of. What's awesome is we just started the process of making several designs for each season 2 episode. So, like, the way it's going to work is, hopefully the goal is to have this start after episode 5. We're going to launch a couple of T-shirt designs a day or 2 after the episodes air. So it's going to be really cool.
That's kind of like what
Venture Brothers
did with their T-shirt club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have some amazing designs, and they're all directly tied into episodes that are coming out. So it's pretty awesome. Like, people will be able to get T-shirts that are based on episodes that just aired days before. It's really neat. I'm super excited.
I want a "What's Up My Glib Globs" T-shirt.
That's a real. I want to say that's somebody. We have two T-shirt vendors. We have Ripple Junction and Zen Monkey Studios, and I think one of those guys had that design. I don't know what's happening with it. Yeah.
Does it come in a ladies' cut? Probably not.
Yeah. I've been pushing for ladies' cuts, believe me.
Well, since Lisa opened the door, don't forget your friends here, Justin. So as shirts come by, we would probably wear them each and every day.
Yes.
Is there anything that we didn't cover here? Rick and Morty, 11:30 Sunday nights on Adult Swim.
I just wanted to say real quick that the collection of the first 5 issues of the comic book is coming out in November. So it's a few months away. You'll be able to get those first 5 issues if you don't have them already.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. Pick it up.
Now you just need to tie in with some kind of vinyl toy like Funko.
There you go.
Yeah, we're working on that. You know, we that commercial we made, that like part of the idea behind that was I was hoping it would get everyone pissed that they weren't real toys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It worked.
Would cause the network to go, oh, well, maybe we should make toys because everyone's bothering us now that this commercial was made and it's not real.
Good idea.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you didn't learn from the past, when South Park did Alabama Man, people were actually writing in to try to buy Alabama Man. He can bowl. Alabama Man. Shut up. Boom. The good old days. Anyway, Justin, thank you so much. It's Justin Roiland TV on Twitter, or is it just your full name?
I think it's just RoilandTV.com.
Roiland TV.
And on Twitter it's at Justin Roiland.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, final thank you. For New York Comic-Con last year, we came up to do an interview with you, but I guess you guys were delayed in time and what have you, and there were so many roundtables and whatnot. Giddles and I didn't get a chance to do an interview, but we did get a chance to meet you and Dan at New York Comic-Con, and they couldn't have been nicer. They signed a DVD for us with Chris Parnell that we're going to give away for Season 1, and I got to tell you, I've never seen Giddles happier than when he saw real-life Mr. Meeseeks.
Oh, yeah.
He ran over and gave him a hug like a kid seeing Mickey for the first time.
I have problems and they can solve them, apparently.
Yeah, I wish they were real.
Any more Mr. Meeseeks in the future? Or I read something that you don't like to revisit stuff.
Well, no, you know what it is? It's always harder in the writer's room, it's always harder to start with some sort of objective or agenda, like, oh, hey, let's do another Meeseeks episode, okay. Because already you're in a box, like, you're having to work within a box. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't ever want to do it. And obviously, like, now we're kind of like, shit, we should commit ourselves, or just reserve a little bit of time to really try to think of some cool ideas. But I try to approach it where it's like inspiration is a good idea can't be forced. So it's like when they float into your head, you want to just grab them and listen and do those. And so I think if any like previous characters that we've introduced that people really like, I think it's better for us to have some kind of great inspiration or awesome idea rather than forcing it. But I think with the Meeseeks and with Evil Morty, those are two things that we're going to probably try to task ourselves in season 3 to revisit in a cool way.
Well, I can't wait to see all of that. You have very big fans here at this program.
Thank you.
Justin, you're welcome anytime if you're in New York, or even if you just want to shoot the shit, give us a call, talk about whatever we're doing. Always welcome. Are you at New York Comic Con this year or no?
I don't know. I don't think so. I have a backpacking trip, which is weird because I'm not a real outdoorsy person, but I'm trying to figure out if I can move that or not.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to. I love New York, and I love the convention is so much better in New York than in San Diego.
Yeah.
It really is.
Don't pull your hometown bullshit here.
No, you know how I feel about San Diego.
Yeah, no, it's great. I want to go, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I do. And hey, tell Nikki Bella that I'm a huge fan. Ask her if she knows the show.
I will.
Hey, do you know Rick and Morty?
And if you can go as Rick, tell us to fuck off as you're leaving here.
Hey, fuck off. Get the fuck out of here.
Justin, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Much success for Rick and Morty.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, man. Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
How awesome was that?
That was awesome.
Justin
really
is so cool. Hopefully next time he's around in New York, we get to have him in here live and, people call in, field questions, whatever. Somebody was on the phone, but they disappeared, and I meant to ask, and I forgot. Was there word about a spinoff of Rick and Morty?
I haven't seen anything.
I haven't heard anything about that.
I find it hard to believe. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I find it hard to believe when they're still kind of finding themselves in season 2 with season 3 on the horizon. It seems to me it's a little early for a spinoff, but maybe there's something in the works.
The thing is, I don't think they need a spinoff because they're doing a really good job
That's what I mean,
of like the Beast stories with Jerry and Summer, and they're having like pretty good Beast stories.
Yeah.
Like, you usually don't get that in cartoons, so I don't think they really need a subplot yet.
Well, the
spinoff, rather.
the Jerry, what was it? The Jerry Daycare?
The Jerry Bure.
Jerry Bure. That's all I'll say from one of the episodes from season 2.
I love that.
Amazing concept. Go check out Rick and Morty on demand for Adult Swim. I don't know if they put the episodes up on the website or not, but look for your on demand. You'll find them somewhere.
On Adult Swim has all of season 1 and all of season 2 thus far as well.
Sweet.
Oh, there you go. Don't have to pay for cable.
There you go.
Just go online and do that. We do have to take a break here. We're going to speak to Nikki Bella from the WWE in just a tiny bit. Anything we want to plug here real quick before we go, Lisa?
Just ourbigapartmentshow.com. That's my little apartment show that you did.
When is Giddles going on?
I don't know.
I gotta figure it out. My schedule is just crazy right now. So
You're dealing with divas
eventually
here. Is what it
Wow.
is. He's too big talent to come on your little
too
apartment
busy.
show.
I'll make it.
All right.
I'm gonna show up with food.
We're going to take a
Yay.
break. When we come back, we'll speak to your WWE Divas champion, Nikki Bella.
It's Erik Nagel.
Back here on It's Erik Nagel. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube if you want to follow along with that. And E-Rock Radio, I've been posting up stuff about people we're talking with. We got to figure out what to do with the Rick and Morty signed DVD that we have.
Okay.
And maybe we'll give it away a little bit later after we talk to... we got Nikki coming on the phone now, and then we got Rooster McCallaghan. Rooster McConaughey.
Don't get him confused with Rooster McCallaghan.
I know. Remember those old wars of the McConaughey's versus the McCallahans? Anyway, so we'll figure out how to give that away. I'm thinking maybe we'll do the Rick and Morty...
Rick impression contest?
Rick impression contest. That sounds good.
I'm down for that.
You have to do a Rick impression, but you have to have the...
you have to have a burp.
The burp in your dialogue.
That's right.
There we go. So that's what we'll do a little bit later in the program here, and we'll give that away. But for right now, SummerSlam is just around the corner. It's next Sunday, by the way.
I'm excited.
I can't wait.
At the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn. I believe it's sold out. It's got to be. Those things go away pretty fast.
Are you going?
And I think I'm definitely going. So we'll give the... what is he doing? Keep the music up. I don't say turn it off. No, up. This is up.
I thought you were fanning me.
No, he's like, he keeps bringing it down. I was like, no, up, because he's... Oh, whatever. Anyway, SummerSlam's next Sunday.
I'm excited.
It's a 4-hour event. They moved it up like WrestleMania status.
Is it 4 hours of Stephen Amell and Stardust wrestling? Because that's all I want to see.
That's what you want to see? Green Arrow versus Stardust?
That's it. That's the only thing I want to say.
Don't forget the man that Gravity forgot, Neville. That's his tag team partner.
Is that green? That's not Green Arrow or Stardust, is it?
But he's in the match.
I know. I'm teetering.
Constantine's the ref.
Oh, nice.
Neville's a big deal. But anyway, that's next week. We'll get to that a little bit later. But
absolutely.
for right now, we have to get to your WWE Divas champion. Let's say hello to Nikki Bella. Nikki, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
A lot going on with you. I'm amazed I had time with you because you're so busy between everything going on with the Divas division. SummerSlam's coming up. Total Divas. You're all over the place.
Yes, I am taking over the world. That's the goal, at least.
When do you find time for you?
I think it's usually when I get a few hours in bed at night. But other than that, it's pretty hard to find time for me. I try, sometimes when I get an off day, I'll admit, the day I do get one, I am, calling the spa, hey, you need to work on me for 4 hours. I need a facial. I need a massage. I need to dip in the jacuzzi. Do what you can to make me look right.
Well, who doesn't need that or want that? And by the way, I got to point out, since you're saying that, if nobody here is watching Total Divas, I don't know what to tell you, but you should be watching it. One of the things that just happened on a recent episode where you were accused of being a bit of a snob and being fancy, and knowing your background and how the story unfolded, Good for you for wanting to, pamper yourself and to, live the good life and try all these things. As your sister put it, it's sort of a treat, a bonus for you now at this stage in your life because you didn't have that growing up. So now that you have these opportunities and you have the money to do so, I say good for you for wanting to do that.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That means a lot. Yeah, growing up, I would see other people doing it, and I'd look at magazines, and I remember watching, like, E! Network, actually, when I was young, when it was just fashion shows, being like, gosh, it's just so beautiful, and I remember going to garage sales, and, like, I couldn't afford, anything nice, but I would get Chanel bags, like, not purses, like, bags that you put your stuff in when you go to the store.
Right.
They're like, okay, yeah, 5 cents, sure, like, you want a grocery bag? And I'd staple them to my wall, just like, oh, those are so cool, maybe one day. But it's nice because, I work really hard, and if I love doing nice things for myself when I can. And not only that, like, I'll get my friends, like, especially some of my friends who can't afford nice things or cousins.
Right.
I'm like, hey, you're going here with me. I'm paying for it. I don't want to hear anything. And they're always like, Nicole. And I'm like, no, I don't care. Like, this is stuff we always wanted to do. And now we can go to spas. Like, I never knew what a massage was till, like, after college. I was like, wait, what's this? Wait, you like go to a nice place and actually get a massage? Are you kidding me?
Were you were you a little weirded out about finding out about this, about having a stranger touch you like that?
You know what? Once they made it to the feet, absolutely not, because then I was like, oh, I get it. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who look, if you haven't ever got a massage, you should definitely go and at least try it once, because a lot of people get weirded out by being touched by a stranger. And if you get over that part and you go, no, look, this is probably going to become one of the best things you've ever done in your life.
I agree. Always look at reviews. That's what I am. And, like, when you'll know it's a good place, and it's weird at first, but then you realize, like, how good you feel after, and, like, how important it actually is. Because especially here in America, look, we all work nonstop here. And between looking at your cell phone or a computer or just being in the car all the time, like, you need to get work done. Like, you need to get massage. You need to get those knots out if you want to live a healthy life.
How great is it when you get to go to a hotel and you find out all the details about the hotel, where you go, oh my God, they have a world-class spa, they have 24-hour room service, and they don't have crappy pillows. The pillows are amazing.
Oh my God, you have no idea. That's like our favorite. Bree and I are like, oh my gosh, and 24-hour room service. And oh my God, their gym has an elliptical. We get like, oh my God, in our business, we get excited. Like, literally, I had Dean Ambrose walk up to me the other day at the airport, like, yes, I'm a gold member at Marriott. And I'm like, only in our business are we like that. Like, we brag about what status we are on airlines just because it's like the fun thing. Like, guys, I'm platinum. What?
I used my miles to upgrade my rental, or I got first class,
yes.
or they just moved my hotel room. Now I have a balcony. How great.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. Like, you feel like you're living large. You're like, this is the life. Oh, I forgot about all those hours I was on a plane, but still. Hey.
Well, let's talk about the real reason we're here, not just, some posh benefits that we all get to enjoy, but let's talk about SummerSlam. It's on Sunday, August 23rd at the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn. It's a 4-hour show, which is amazing that they extended it. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and of course, you have to have the WWE Network, because that's the only way you really should be watching this event. It's only $9.99 a month. Get the network, watch everything going on here.
I agree. I mean, one, when you have the network, you get to see the pre-show. And to me, the pre-show is so fun to watch before going into the actual main show. And there's so much perks about having the WWE Network.
I wish the network, WWE put out a DVD set not too long ago. It was After Raw, and it would show you all the video footage that they taped when Raw would go off the air and people would still be celebrating in the ring, or back in the days when Stone Cold was still active in the company, where he'd be drinking beer with Lillian Garcia and having fun with the audience and what have you. I think it would be nice if the network could actually do that, where Raw ends on USA Network here in the United States. Goes off the air, and then you can pick up the feed, since it's not on TV anymore, on the network and watch the post-show celebrations.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to pitch that. It's a really good idea, and I wouldn't be shocked if that's coming soon, because I think they're always looking for new content, and so that's actually, really good. I think, too, sometimes why you don't see it is because sometimes at certain arenas, it's like you have to be out by a certain time.
Oh, yeah, union rules.
Yeah.
This card is pretty much, it's main event status all the way down the lineup here, but I gotta say, for the Divas, and the division as a whole, this is a major opportunity for all of you for having a diva match, which is considered a main event status here.
I agree. This SummerSlam, because it's 4 hours, I feel like it's a WrestleMania, like 100%.
Right.
And because of all the matches. And then, with the Divas Revolution and taking the division to a whole new level, it makes us part of this WrestleMania-worthy pay-per-view event and makes us one of the most talked about matches to watch. And it just makes me so proud of the Divas and how far the Divas have come along and the NXT Divas. And I just think, we're making history. And it's going to be so fun to see 3 teams go at it. It's going to be our first time throughout this whole revolution that you're going to see all 3 teams in one ring.
Right.
Well, hopefully we're not going to be getting hit with submissions and just breakout fights, but we're actually going to be having a match.
The match, for those who don't know, the match consists of 3 different teams. Team Bella, which of course you're on and WWE Divas Champion, your sister Brie and Alicia Fox. And then you have Team PCB with Paige, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. And Team Bad with Sasha Banks, who is the NXT champion, women's champion right now, Naomi and Tamina. To have this much talent in a match like this, even with the men's tag team or something like this, like the old Survivor Series, sometimes it could be overkill. And you look at this match here and you go, no, there's nothing overkill about this. Each individual in this match is bringing something to the program.
I agree. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's what has made the Revolution so good. We've had 2 diva matches every night, and sometimes the other girls will be on commentary, but it's like you want to hear what that team's going to say, and then now you're seeing these 2 girls, and even if you see us twice in one night, it's not overplaying it. You're, excited because everyone is bringing something different.
Right. And
that's what's making the Revolution so awesome.
And I think this is really helping define your generation of divas here with the WWE. In the past, the diva division hit a height with the Attitude Era, but Trish and Lita were really the only names that came out of it. And then for a while, there was a gap of divas, but they were more like models and they had the Playmate competitions and stuff going on there. But now the company is really focusing on the matches, on developing the talent and bringing strong personalities into the fold here that, this match here at SummerSlam is going to be very impressive, and I think the outcome of this is really going to set the trend for future diva matches.
I couldn't agree with you more. And there's a change now, and the change is here, and it's so great for us women who truly care about wrestling because now we're finally in the hands of people that now care about wrestling. It's not about best body contest. It's not about Playboy. It's not about anything like that. It's about women that want to wrestle and entertain and look good doing it. Because, at the end of the day, and it's whatever your character is, maybe your character, I think that's what's been so impressive about these girls is they are great to look at. They have amazing characters and personalities, and then they could wrestle.
Right.
And that's kind of this Divas Revolution is these women with the total package, but who truly have a passion for wrestling. And that's what I love. Because before, it was okay, is she here to be famous? Is she here for this? But right now, it's the girls that want to get in there and rock and roll. And I've been craving that. I can't tell you for how long. It was the reason my sister and I left, for 11 months. And we came back because we were just over the 3-minute matches, the 2-minute matches. It was
right.
Come on, how can we tell stories? How can we get better? And now it's it's just grown so much. And I'm just so proud of all the women that are in our division right now and the women that have stepped up and the women that truly want to be here and truly want to make a difference in that ring.
Outside of the talent for the diva roster, who do you think gets the credit for this big turnaround and the big push for developing the diva division and actually, making a serious go with the NXT talent that was coming up and has now integrated into WWE and the current diva talent that they had? Who do you think is the backbone of pushing this diva division?
I honestly think it's the fans. I think when the fans started trending Give Divas a Chance, it not only made Vince look at the girls and be like, shoot, do I not give them a chance? But I think it also made Triple H look at that. And Triple H used his power and gave his women a chance, and you started to see good things happen. And so the fans wanted to remind everyone of that. Look, they're giving divas a chance. How about main roster divas? And honestly, I think 100% it's our fans. Because sometimes, fans can make some noise and maybe they listen, maybe they don't, but they wouldn't stop with this for months and months.
Right.
And I honestly think it was our fans doing that and then the girls delivering. Like Triple H giving the NXT girls time and letting them tell stories and showing that women can main event. And so that was getting people, because let's say if they didn't deliver and they weren't doing well, then it's like, this is why we don't give divas a chance. But because those girls had the opportunity to do it and they delivered and they were amazing, it got people talking even more. And then, it brought it up to the main roster.
I also want to give credit to Stephanie McMahon's character, I'll say, on television, because
100%.
her character she's really come a long way, where she has the unique ability to, one, terrify you, no matter if you're a male or female on the roster, to show some kind of empowerment towards the women's division and women in the company. And then at the same moment, also, kind of verbally and mentally kick the crap out of you to keep everybody in line. Say, yes, empower women. Let's not go too far.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is, so when it finally made it to the main roster, the minute Stephanie McMahon got involved, that's what created, this massive revolution. I agree with you 100%. And it's what I've had so fortunate with my Divas reign is that my Divas Championship reign is Stephanie was involvement. I turned on my sister because of Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon had this amazing story, first with my brother-in-law, Daniel Bryan, then with my twin sister, Brie Bella, and it took Daniel and Brie to the next level, and then I got involved, and it took me to the next level. And then just doing those promo segments with Stephanie, not only did I learn a lot, but she brought something out of me. And just continuing on working, like I said this in another interview before, when Stephanie McMahon works with the women, it brings us up to main event status. It makes people believe in us, and it just gives us a different level of things. It's kind of like when a girl works with a guy, it kind of takes them up a level. And I feel like that's what is with the Divas. It's because when a company's so invested in someone, and they're like, have her, I don't want to say give the rub, but in a way give them the rub, it makes you believe. And when we knew we were going to do that promo segment with Stephanie, I was like, damn, this is so badass. Like, it was an honor.
That's always been the fun thing with the McMahons, is that no matter how great the storylines are, the characters, or how big the heels are for feuds, that if they needed to make a transition or if they needed to take it to the next level, McMahon was always there as a pivotal point of being, I'm the ultimate bad guy. So even the bad guys could turn and have a problem with the McMahons and get boosted to the next level. And Stephanie doing that with the Diva division, and now this whole Revolution thing, it's just putting it through the roof.
Oh my God, I agree. Like, I'm hoping that Stephanie is going to do something, some type of twist Monday. I'm hoping for it. And I wouldn't be shocked if she does. Like, we haven't seen her since, and I'm like, okay, Monday before SummerSlam, Stephanie has to have something up her sleeve with some twist. There just has to be, I would think. Who knows? But, yeah, I agree with you 100%. We've been so fortunate to have Stephanie with this whole revolution.
Also on the card is, it's no secret, especially if you watch Total Divas, your man has a match, John Cena versus Seth Rollins. He's got the U.S. Championship. Seth has the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's something along the lines, I'll even go back as far as when, Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, Intercontinental versus Heavyweight Champion. It's along the lines of something that incredible. That being said, with you having a title and him having a title, when you guys are at home, do you ever wear the other's title?
No.
Like when he had the Spinner Heavyweight Championship, did you ever just kind of like throw it over your shoulder and just sitting there spinning it while you're sitting on the couch?
No, I wish so. Actually, I should have done that. But John and I are kind of funny. Like when we're at home, we try to keep work out of it. I mean, we've had a few times, of course, where I've grabbed his championship and, been like, yeah, U.S. champ, but it's nothing. If anything, he laughs at me because I always try to tackle him and throw him in moves and be like, how about this hold? And he's like, all right, playtime's over. I'm like, no, try this one. Like, it's nonstop.
You've never dared him to put on the Diva belt?
No, I think he's afraid to take a photo and post it on East for the internet to see him in the Divas Championship. He's worn the Fearless Nikki shirt before, so I think that's as far as I could get with him. Even though he surprised me with that, he sent me a listing photo.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he wearing a Fearless Nikki shirt? And yeah, sure enough, he was.
Well, maybe wear it during a backstage segment. Help get your sales up on that.
I know, right? I should tell him that.
No,
or at least he used to wear it.
I've seen you with the You Can't See Me stuff once in a while.
I do. I like supporting my man.
Yeah, a little role reversal.
Just can't take the Superman outfit off.
Oh, well, maybe at some point. Who's your favorite on the roster? And it can't be you and your sister. Who do you look at and really impressed by?
Female or male?
Both, either one.
Okay. You know, I have to say this past year, I've been really, really impressed with Dean Ambrose. Just from, when they broke away from the Shield, there was so much focus, I feel like, on Roman and on Seth.
Right.
The Seth did the turning, and then, Roman, they've really built. And I feel like, Dean's been there, but, he's really overcome everything, I feel like, on his own. And is really, you also will sit and watch his match, and you're like, holy cow, this guy's insane. He's awesome. And he does it in jeans. I think people forget that. He's in jeans. I'm always so impressed by that alone.
Yeah, I mean, John used to wear the jorts, and and that was impressive because those don't have a lot of give, and this guy's wearing full, jeans and boots.
Totally. So I would say him. Let's see. I feel like I should pick a female too. I would say Paige. Paige came in here and won the championship, and when you come and win the championship your first night, that's a lot of pressure.
Right.
It's not like she had time to just build and be like, okay, here I am now, guys. It was one night oh, here I am. Shit, this is crazy. So I think she's done well with everything she has, and I think we've even gotten to see her grow a lot. So I guess I've been impressed by those two over the year. I feel like I'm missing someone that's been oh my goodness.
Well, what do you think of that? What about NXT? Who do you think, who do you find impressive that's coming up from NXT?
And I definitely have to say Kevin Owens has been so impressive to me. His character, his in-ring work, I think, he embraces being such a bad guy, and I like that. And then I have to say I really enjoy Sasha Banks. I love the character, the personality. She's an amazing wrestler. She's, not bad to look at either. She's a pretty girl.
Right.
And she's someone who, really wasn't talked about. You had Paige and Emma, everyone was talking about, and then Charlotte, everyone was talking about, and Sasha really was just always, her and Bayley were always the ones kind of in the back, and same with Becky Lynch. And so I think Sasha, though, just out of nowhere just became this big star, even, from NXT and then coming up and just what she's done in the past, month and a half. So I've been really impressed with her.
She's definitely attractive to the eye, whether you know her character or know her or not. If she's standing in a crowd, it definitely catches your attention.
Big time.
And that equals big money in the WWE.
Right.
As long as you have the talent to back it up.
Exactly.
We're running out of time. Nikki Bella, thank you so much. SummerSlam is at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, Sunday, August 23rd. It's a 4-hour show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Definitely should be watching it on the WWE Network. There's no excuse not to. And of course, you got to check out Nikki's match as Team Bella takes on Team PCB and Team Bad for one of the biggest diva matches ever in the history of the company. Nikki, I don't know what to say here. It's a very impressive career that you've had, and you're far from done, and everything that you guys are changing with that division and where it's going is just going to be historic. And will you be back for another season of Total Divas?
You know it.
Okay, good.
Bella's away.
Nikki, thank you so much. Bella Twins on Twitter and The Nikki Bella on Instagram. I think we've covered everything, right?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nikki. Next time you're in New York, please come by.
Definitely, for sure.
There we go, Nikki Bella. Thank you so much. Lisa, do you watch the Total Divas?
I'm going to now.
You should. It's on E! It's actually a lot of fun. You don't even need to be a wrestling fan to watch the show.
I'm going to watch it.
There's a lot of guys that actually, who are wrestling fans that do watch that show, and they'll say, I watch the show. No, they don't. That's the thing. When you say the Kardashians, my chick watches it. I have to watch. It's always on. And that's a legitimate excuse, because anytime you throw an E, it's either the girl who looks like Bram Stoker's Dracula, what's her name, Juliana, whatever, and then it's Fashion Police or it's Kardashian.
Sure.
But when this is on, it's actually pretty good. I watch it. There's even a show on after it that I've been making fun of for a long time now, and now I think I'm actually going to sit down and watch it.
Oh no! What is it?
It's
Honey Boo Boo?
No,
is it Honey Boo Boo?
Hollywood Cycle or something. It's about these these cycle classes in Beverly Hills and in Hollywood that are like the big drama now. That which students can get into whose classes for these spin classes, and it's like the most ridiculous concept.
This sounds like the biggest piece of horseshit.
It is, and you're right. It is. It's total horseshit. But I want to watch that now. I don't know what it is.
I love you. I do. But some days I question your taste in television. I'm just saying.
It's so fun to watch TV.
I hope that he's watching it while playing with like Legos or something. I could forgive him.
Here's the thing, because it comes on at the end of Total Divas, right? So I watch it on DVR, so I'm not there
Your
live.
Your brain's already numb.
But right at the last minute before the DVR cuts out, you're watching Hollywood's. It's called Hollywood Cycle. It's on E, and it's about these dumb rich women who are trying to bang all the hot male instructors and then getting pissed when one girl's talking to this instructor, but this guy was hanging out with this girl. It's total nonsense and petty bullshit. And I've been making fun of it. Now I kind of want to watch it.
I feel like I'm getting stupider just hearing about the show.
You probably are. Being on this show has made you stupider, sir.
I only have a handful of brain cells. I can't afford to lose any more. Please.
I'm going to check out Total Divas, though. You know, I've dabbled a little bit in the wrestling world in Florida. I did the pre and post match interviews for Ronin Pro Wrestling and a bunch of the promo videos as well.
Right.
And so, being introduced like the inside of wrestling, it's so cool.
Maybe we try to get you on the next Tough Enough.
Yeah.
You want to be a wrestler?
Yes.
You can be the comedic wrestler.
My bones are made of glass.
You go in and tell jokes.
I don't want to do anything too physical.
She could be the what's the first character in Tyson's Punch-Out? Glass Joe.
Glass Joe.
You could be Glass Lisa. You go in there, and it's just to put the new guy over.
Mr. Glass from
manager?
Unbreakable.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, you'd be a good manager.
Yeah.
You could have a shtick.
Your shtick is
her with like a megaphone.
Right. Your shtick is everybody's first win. When they're in the company, they wrestle you and get their first win right off the bat.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Rooster, McConaughey, and Butch Gilliam from West Texas Investors Club. It's on CNBC. It's a pretty good show. It's sort of like Shark Club, but was that even a word? It's sort of like Shark Club. Is it Shark Club?
You've lost me. Shark Tank?
Shark Tank. Thank you. Shark Club. That's probably Discovery or something.
Another weird reality show.
Shark Club is where all of the rich bitches in Hollywood are trying to fuck random sharks and get pissed when they can't make it happen.
Can't get into my Soul Cycle Club. It's like Shark Tank, but it's a bit of a different take. They're not looking just to be in it for money or fucking fight with people, telling them that they suck and their ideas are awful. They're trying to actually invest in people and try to get their dreams pushed forward because somebody helped. They tell the story about how people helped them out, and then they're trying to just like kind of like a pay it forward kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll talk to them in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Megan told me I couldn't cuss on there. She said,
potty mouth.
Good, don't should they want to leave you on?
Well, sir, you can say whatever the hell you want here. It's an open policy.
Oh, great.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no intro. Rooster McConaughey, how are you, sir?
Already.
Don't tell me I can say anything I want to say. If I was talking about somebody else, I swear.
And also his partner, Butch Gilliam, is here. Gentlemen, these are my favorite interviews because I get to talk to people who are way more manly than I will ever be. So it gives me a chance to find out what it is and what it's like to do manly stuff, manly work, and all the hard work that you guys have put into your careers, into your investments and all that. I don't even know where to start here. I guess, how did you guys get started? Like, I know you guys are self-made, but to go into the fields that you did with oil and cattle and steel and all that stuff, how do you just jump right into that?
Well, out there where we're from, both of us started really at a young age, in our teens. And, I was working doing stuff with my dad even earlier than that. And he started in the shop and we just kept doing it. And, we learned the business. We started from the bottom and eventually we had enough money to do some things. And I went completely broke one time, a couple times probably, but on paper, really did it good on paper once. And so we learned from our experiences. Both of us have learned from our experiences through the years. And I like to say we found out what not to do.
That's usually
before we found out what to do.
Usually the most successful people are not the guys that came from trust funds or came from money. They're the guys who made money or came from money and lost the money and picked themselves up and rebuilt it again. So this is pretty much what you went through by losing it and figuring out what not to do, and then say, all right, I'm going to try it again and do it all right.
Right, exactly. I started all over and just took it from there.
With growing up in Texas, did you not have it like other people usually do, where they want to get out of the small towns and get out of from where they live and maybe go to a city or something that's more attractive as far as a career goes instead of industrial stuff, farmhand stuff, things along those lines?
I did a bunch of I had a lot of fun in between a bunch of times. I mean, I had a lot of fun. When like I was just working the whole time, I had a lot of fun. I burned it on both ends.
What kind of jobs did you do?
Well, it was always related to the oil field mainly.
Yeah.
But I was having a lot of fun. And in the oil field, and when you say, but you can have a lot of fun.
Back when we were young in the oil field that we knew back then, it was so much fun. I mean, you worked really, really hard, but you played really, really hard too. Not like that anymore. Totally different outlook on the oil field anymore. It's so much more regimented and controlled and safety, and which is a good thing, but it's just totally different than what it used to be.
Not as much romance.
No.
People are in it strictly for the money. Back with the guys that taught us were in it for the romance. I mean, the old men they did it because that was what they did. I mean, they were proud. That's what they did. They would actually go broke. And back then when you went broke, you went broke. I mean, you didn't have a LLC that took care of you. And
had no bailouts.
You bailed, you moved in a small apartment. I mean, people go broke. People would go bankrupt today and fly to their court in a Learjet. For their court date. I mean, going broke is totally different than going broke the way it used to be. We got taught by the guys that knew how to go broke, and nowadays it's a whole different deal.
So, are you the last of this kind of breed here, as far as where you started from, doing it for, like you said, the romance of it?
And even the romance in the oil field has gone for us some, and that's part, could be part of the reason that we're wanting to do this. We're wanting to show people. Pass something along that was done for us. People that believed in us.
Right.
I mean, we're wanting to show that it's not only the money, it's having somebody believe in you.
That's interesting that you guys have that, because I could say a lot of people, when they make their money and they make really good money, they're pretty much self-contained in their own world, and the rest of the world and humanity does not matter to them. Yeah, they may invest in a charity just to show publicly that they're doing something, but they really don't care about helping other people. It's all about maintaining their fortune and living their life. And you guys are, I hate the term pay it forward, but it's pretty much really what it is. You guys had a lot of help. You said, ups and downs, got on your feet, built this whole thing up, and now you're trying to, return the favor to somebody else.
That's exactly what we're trying to do.
He does give away a lot of money. I'm not going to tell him.
Well,
he got a lot of triggers today. I'm not going to tell him. In fact, I'll name them all so people start calling.
We enjoy helping people and showing people the things that we've learned over the years,
right?
That could be helpful to them in new businesses. And I'll say it again. More importantly, maybe we can show them what not to do. But yeah, we've all had help along the way, and it's fun. It's fun to see someone succeed. It's such a sad thing when you look around and see that some people get the most pleasure out of watching someone else fail.
Yeah.
Well, that ain't me and Rooster. We get a big kick out of watching someone succeed, and even a bigger kick if we can somehow, whether it be money or just a word of encouragement,
right,
help them to succeed and realize their goals.
Was this whole concept, was this something you guys were kicking around for a while, or did somebody approach you and say, hey, we have this idea? It's sort of Shark Tankish, but not really.
Charlie and Jason came in and talked to us about the way we did stuff. And then they really got to looking and said, y'all, that's what y'all doing. He and I have been doing it like this for years. And so when they got, we sat down and talked about how we do business. And they said, man, that'd be a great thing to show, to show the world and hopefully entertain people while doing it.
I think Charlie and Jason may have noticed that, when we engage in business, we're going to have some fun with it.
Right.
And if you can't do that, if you can't work hard at a job, dedicate your heart, mind, body, and soul to it, and still have some fun with it, then you're doing something wrong.
I know there's something to be said for, putting in the hard work and the time, but where do you find the balance as far as somebody you want to invest in where they're a hard worker, then also they're a smart worker too? Because you could work really hard and still not get anywhere. But if you work harder, it helps make things a lot easier. Where do you balance this out as far as the people you're choosing?
Well, we can help them on being smarter. As far as, and you're exactly right. I mean, hard work, smart working is also hard work.
Right.
You just you got more time after you're done working sometime. And I think a lot of times I don't see anything wrong with thinking about your job 24 hours a day myself. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't have fun, but I mean, you can take a job like we're talking about. You can be doing something that other people don't think is fun, but you can also make it fun. Otherwise, if you can't, then you need to be doing something else. I mean, if you wake up every morning and you hate your work, well, you need to be doing something else.
Right. So it's the difference between a job and a career and a passion. So you think about your work 24 hours a day?
I actually think about something that my work, my mind is on 24-hour call. I'm not thinking about it just, all day long, but I mean, I carry notes. If I have a thought in the middle of the night, I wake up and write it down. If I have a thought in the middle of the day, I wake up and write it down.
Does that drive you nuts if you're, like, for both of you, if you're going to bed and you said you have a notepad and stuff, and a lot of creative people always have a notepad in their pocket, or nowadays the note section is on their phone there. But to go to bed when you're constantly always thinking about this stuff, whether you're acting on it or not, to just lay there and try to turn off. Like your mind's still constantly going with everything that you could have done that day, or other stuff's popping in that you got to do tomorrow, or something that you never even thought of. How do you turn that off and relax?
You drink enough beer.
You drink a lot of beer.
If you can drink enough beer, you can make it till about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Then you better have your notepad.
It's real easy. You start drinking when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
What's the beer of choice for you guys?
Of course.
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite.
He named his kid Miller Lite. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know you.
His kid is named Miller Lite.
And the girl's Margarita Olympia.
His daughter is Margarita Olympia.
Got to switch it up. You can't just beer it all the time.
Come on.
No, Olympia's the name of a beer.
Gotta, mix it up a little bit, right?
So if you have a third kid, what name do you have reserved?
Man, I can't have. I mean, look at me. I mean, come on, man.
I think Harvey. How about Harvey Wallman?
Yeah, no. What did he tell me was going to be? I had a priest tell me one time. He says, Rooster. He says, if you have another kid, I want you to name him Chance. And I said, why? Because chances are it's not yours.
There you go. No, that's interesting that you go with a bigger name beer, because my experiences with people from Texas with drinking down there, they're very proud of Texas-based beers. Like Shiner Bock, things like that. So to go with the Miller, it was a little interesting to hear.
Yeah, I think they got a brewery down there somewhere by now. I mean, the thing is, you go out of the country and they don't have your beer. That's when it's bad. I mean, they ain't gonna have Shiner Bock in Brazil,
right?
So you got to drink something that everybody, that you can find everywhere.
And I know you have a cigar there too. What's your cigar choice?
I just chew up.
He finds them laying on the street, picks them up.
Portofino Macanudos.
Oh, really? Yeah. Had I known, I have a couple.
You do?
Yeah. My dad gets a lot of the Macanudos, the Monte Cristos, a whole bunch of stuff from golf tournaments, and he doesn't smoke anymore, so they're just piling up. Had I known, I would have brought you a box.
I just chew them myself.
I'll get your information from your publicist here, and I'll send you something.
Damn right. Hell, I didn't know we was gonna get something. Shit.
Already.
I don't need anything. I just need them out of my house. So rather than go to somebody that
you
would
got them in a humidor.
They're in humidors. I have multiple humidors, and some of them are still sealed. Air sealed, which are also in a humidor, so that like in a cedar box kind of thing. So they're good to go.
I'll take
some are locked in tubes, airtight, ready.
I'll take them.
The show is West Texas Investors Club, Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. on CNBC here. I'm talking with Rooster and Butch. How did you get, I'm sure everybody's asked, how did the Rooster name come around?
Trying to think of a short version. I guess it's because I got a little pecker. No,
it's, remember a drunk named you that in a bar when you was passed out in the bathroom floor.
Wasn't it. Actually, I did. I used to get up real early in the morning when I was in the 70s, and I had a spike haircut back before punk rock was in, and I did a little jig everywhere I went, And I always woke up at daylight. He and I had a drinking contest one night, went to bed about 4 o'clock in the morning. He says, hey, who's going to wake me up? I said, come on, man. I wake up at daylight to make a difference around a coal mine. I wake up at sunup. All right, well, you got it. Well, he had to be somewhere about 8 o'clock. Well, about 9 o'clock, man, for some reason I didn't. That's one of the few times I've slept good.
Yeah.
And I went in there and shook him up. And I said, hey, man. He said, what time? I said, 9 o'clock. He looked at me and said, you rooster motherfucker. And that was
That's
it.
all it takes.
And I actually didn't take it with me when I moved to Midland. And he showed up at my bar and saw me in there and said, hey, Rooster. And they all said, that's who you are. So I never could get rid of it.
On the show, what were some of the, I'd say, more disappointing presentations that were put in front of you? Like something maybe you thought had potential and it just kind of...
There was one particular guy that came in that, he had something that might have had a little potential.
It was really a pretty good idea.
But the most, without going into big detail, but the most disappointing thing about it is he was just such a prick. And just totally could not deal with him, just off the charts.
Was it ego or was he just an asshole?
Yeah.
Oh,
asshole,
he was,
ego, asshole, whatever you want to call it.
He worshipped his
and you know what? We at the end of the deal, I talked to Rooster. I said, Rooster, do you want to invest? He said, Rooster said, I like this idea. I want to invest. I said, all right, let's do this. I'll go with you on it if the guy doesn't dig a hole and jump in it. Because I know he's going to. He's going to come in here. He's going to show his ass just like he has before. And if he doesn't do that, we'll go with him. He had an investment coming. And he dug a hole and he jumped right in just like I said he would.
Yeah, I mean, you could, and he was obsessed with this idea. I mean, we were like, God dang, man. It's just an idea. I mean, he's like, oh no, don't you talk bad about, we never talked about it. So you could do, oh no, well, I know that. And I'm trying not to give the thing away, but I mean, it was like, you could have called all his kids hair lip and it wouldn't have bothered him as much as if I got this, you'd have said something bad about his dadgum idea. I mean, he just was obsessed with it.
Obsessed.
And we got to tease him, hey man, come on, So we tried to approach and say, listen, so you've got an aggressive personality. Maybe we could take over what the part of it, the sale.
Right.
And he said, you're not taking over. I mean, he got it going.
You asked a question a while ago. How do we select these entrepreneurs? How do we get to know their character? And that's what we do. We put these little tests for them to do, maybe some chores, some work to do, or something that something they have to perform.
Right.
And just show us something about them. And he failed on all counts.
Well, we're not going to say what the deal was,
but it's highlighted in the show.
But
you'll see it in the show.
We shot it. We did shoot him up with some shotguns one time, and that kind of upset him.
Oh, yeah. You'll see it in the show.
He walks up and we're blowing him away, Well, we paid for him. I mean, he wasn't, but he was upset.
Why not?
We're like, hey man, we
got to do something.
Hey, we bought him. We can do whatever we want to. We'll buy some more.
You just wasted our time.
How dare you do that to my invention? I'm like, God dang, we paid for it. I mean, we'll do what the hell we want to with it. I mean, just upset him, I mean, really.
But that's a great example of the fact that even though you may have a good product, if you got a bad partner,
right,
it's not going to work.
So there's so many different factors to make these things work.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The person's got to be right first and foremost. Right. The person has to be right because the wrong person could wreck Coca-Cola. The greatest business in the world could be wrecked by the wrong person.
Do you guys have that ability to sense before they even talk? And when they come in, just maybe it's their body language or the way they approach you with their item or whatever, that you can tell, like, all right, I'm sensing something here that this may not go right. And then the second they start talking, you're like, yeah, I don't think this guy's either on the up and up, or I don't think this is going to work.
Well, if they don't notice Big Mike when they walk in the door,
right,
or Bear, that's the first tip off.
11 foot tall, and he's right there when you walk in the door.
So if he doesn't look at him and have any kind of reaction, this guy's kind of dead inside or something. He's like, this is not going to work.
And we got that from some witch doctor. But Gil's a big part of it. The bearded guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I
love him.
He actually spends more time with him, and we consult him.
Gil's the first thing they see when they get off the plane is Gil.
Because he has that cane that he has, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right away there, it's like, all right, this guy's going to be fun.
He's our singing cowboy buddy.
And this first episode, you will see, it's a perfect example of us going into the deal strictly because of the person. because we don't know nothing about what he presents us.
Well, one of the things I liked that I saw in the first episode when you were doing the Speedy tab is that you guys wanted to implicate it. You said, okay, it's not enough that he was selling you on this and the potential that you thought it had. He's like, all right, let's try this out. And you go down to the bar and grill there.
Exactly.
And with, by the way, smoking hot girls there with all the different hair colors, pink, purple, and everything there. And trying out the thing and, we'll give away what happened.
Cotton candy machine, I think.
I won't give away what happened, but you guys were putting it into effect and then going around getting people's reviews. It's like, you just used this. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
And I think that's a great angle to do this with, as compared to, Shark Tank stuff where they're just, it's a very icy cold room when they walk in. It's like you automatically feel they're going to hate you and they just want to buy whatever, get their piece of their money out of you. And you guys are like, show me what you got. I want to believe in this. Yeah. And it has a friendlier vibe.
We want it to be. That's why
absolutely.
we do those scenarios, those deals. We want it to be a level playing field for the person. It's just not fair when you walk in and you got two guys sitting across the desk. I mean, you've gone and called on somebody before and had to sit down with an interview, a job interview, anything
Interns
like that.
here.
And you're like, so the guy's sitting in his safety zone, sitting there, and you got to sit across from it. We want them to be able to feel one-on-one with us, to feel equal to us, to talk to us the way they want to get them on the same, we want to be on the same playing field with them, to bring out to bring it out.
Bring out the best in it.
Yeah, we got to have some time. First impressions, unfortunately, most of the time are wrong, I think, for a lot of us. So we want to give them time to let us see
it out and see what he's all about.
See what they're really all about.
You said you've been doing this for a long time, and this won't spoil anything for the show, but can you give me an example of one of the more surprising or a positive achievements that you had as far as doing what you're doing here with helping somebody out?
Oh, and you're talking about in our businesses before?
Yeah.
Well,
he and I got into a deal one time with a friend of ours, a real close friend of ours, and it was an old deal. And, the oil field in West Texas is either up high, or it's down low. Right now it's back in another low. And we jumped in on this deal when it was real high. And then as soon as we invested quite a bit of money, it went south, went real low again. And we thought we were going to lose it all. And we just, in the example we're trying to make to some of these young entrepreneurs, we stuck with it, stayed the course, patience, and just believe in what you're doing, keep working. Thing turned back around, and we turned out making a really good deal.
And we were good people on that deal that came back in, and they've done exceptionally well.
They were great partners.
They're great guys, and we've done stuff with certain oil field things like Butch and I got him some people doing this in the fiberglass rod business, and I mean, and that thing is gonna turn out well. Because it's a good guy, a good, honest guy. We don't have to do nothing hardly. I mean, that's how good the guy is. I mean, that's not to say, if this guy was to do something wrong, it's going to hurt our faith in humanity for a bit. But there's certain people you get in with that you don't have to do anything. They're that good of people. And then there's some you got to keep an eye on that we misjudged, but in which that's happened. We're not total. We've made a lot of mistakes on people, and I'm sure we will. Like I say, we're not mind readers. We're just going from the gut.
Right. Is it really mistakes though? With all your good intentions and what you're trying to do, it's really more just disappointments in people, not mistakes on your part, right?
Well, it's a mistake because we picked the wrong guy.
Right.
The worst deals I've ever gotten into was somebody else's idea, not mine. So that's the thing I would caution people about is, be careful. You think of it when you think of a dangerous person that's coming to take what you have away from you. You think of a mask or a ski mask or something over their head. But I've found out in life that some of the most dangerous people that's going to take what you got away from you wears nice suits and nice dresses.
And
said it with a straight face.
We feel comfortable. You got a T-shirt on.
Yeah, I know.
Real nice suits and real
10
nice
o'clock
dresses. Huh?
Tuesday.
10 o'clock Tuesday.
So great to wear whatever you want and be your own boss, ain't it?
BNBC. Yeah.
I think I'm running out of time with you here, so just a couple of really quick things. It's usually always said, as far as money and finance goes, that you don't lend money to family and friends, that kind of thing like that. Have you had that experience, or has that been like, no, that's how we built everything, through family and friends?
Butch has a saying, he says, you're better off giving it to them.
And just letting it go.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have any hopes of ever getting your money back, give it to them. Don't loan it to them.
Smart advice, I guess. For people who don't know, with Texas, where is the line that separates east and west? Like, because depending what town you're in, it's like sometimes like, well, that's not really east. It's close.
In your rearview mirror or in the front.
I guess it's a dumb question on my part. Then, not being from the area, I just assumed that there was some kind of county line or something like that saying, no, that's east, that's west.
There's a lot of people claiming they're in the heart of Texas.
Right.
And have you ever noticed that, Butch?
Yeah.
That's right, the heart of Texas. He's in the heart of Texas. The heart of the deer country, the heart of this. Everybody, there's a lot of, I guess there's a big, hell, I don't know where it is.
If you find out, would you call us and tell us?
Would you? We're going to work on that one for you.
You guys don't know, how the hell am I going to find out?
I don't know, but good God, hell, I got to save that question.
Let me write that down.
Last question for you, gentlemen. The show is West Texas Investors Club. It's on CNBC, Tuesdays, 10 p.m. on CNBC. With all your success and everything that you're doing here, do you think in your lifetime there's a chance to see billionaire status? Or do you even want it, or does it even matter?
No, not my goal.
No, when you get, here's how it works.
We keep doing this, we're never going to make it.
If you're fortunate enough to make some money in your young life, you'll spend about half your life working your ass off, trying to make all the money you can, and then you'll find out one day that, you know what, I got to start giving this shit away. So you spend the other half of your life trying to give it away, or trying to find a way to keep some of it and hand it down, and that's what works. Some point in time, you got to stop and face that.
If they ever take their inheritance tax off, I'm gonna work a hell of a lot harder.
Me too.
I guess the last thing would be here then, when did you realize, because you said, you work hard, you play hard stuff. When did you feel that you hit that point in your lives where I've made enough money to live comfortably, I made enough money to help my family and pass it down to my children, and now I'm using the rest of this to help other people out? When do you have that mindset where you go, I'm okay where I am in life, and now I can start helping everybody else?
Well, I went out and got a huge life insurance policy before I got on the show.
Your point is?
Just in case I lose it all.
What about for you?
I've never thought in terms of how much money that I have. It's just, to me, I'm just staying active and trying to do something positive, and really money I don't even think about it.
Well,
it's just being busy.
He always says,
I went home, when I sold my business, I was it went sudden, and I went home and started watching TV, and, there's only so many episodes of Family Feud. And so I've contemplated hanging myself, and I've got to go back to work. So, it's just, you got to be busy doing something. So that's what it's about for me.
Well, gentlemen,
I thought you were going to tell the Cheeto story. I'm glad.
Well, I was going to tell the Cheeto story, but
now you have to tell the Cheeto story. Is it quick or no?
Well,
no.
Well, really, here's the truth. I went home and I started watching TV and eating Cheetos, and then something turned orange on me.
Oh no!
And I thought, oh, God, I went to the doctor. He said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I've lost my job, and all I do is sit around, watch TV, and eat Cheetos." And he said, "You need to go back to work." So that's why I'm here. What I'm doing this for.
That was his paying it forward to you.
Yeah.
Rooster McConaughey and Butch Gilliam, thank you so much. West Texas Investors Club, Thursdays, 10 p.m. on CNBC. Guys, thank you so much. This was really great to talk to you. How great was it to have an interview where nobody asked you about your family?
What?
It was?
Yeah.
Good. I tried
now
to do
we'll
that.
talk. Now we'll talk about it.
Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tavern is like...
That's what we'll get into right now. Welcome back. It's Erik Nagel, Eric, Matt, Giddles, Lisa, all here. Thank you to Rooster and to Butch. Check out West Texas Investors Club on CNBC. It's actually a really good show. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. I tweeted out right as the interview was airing that we'll take your calls here if you want to try to win the Rick and Morty signed DVD set. I said, look, if you can do your best Rick impression, and it says burps must be included.
That's it.
So we have some time here. If you want to call in and try to win this, we'll wait for the phone lines to light up. If not, I guess either Matt or Lisa are going to fight to the death to try to take this home. So there we go. Lots going on. We were just talking before we were coming back here. Matt was telling me about some photos that were showing up online for the new season of Daredevil.
Yup.
And they're shooting it right in Brooklyn. Yep. At least right now they are. And they're shooting night scenes.
Right.
So it's right near where you live, is what you were saying?
Yeah. It's actually right over by McCarran Park. There's a bar called the Turkey's Nest Tavern. They actually shoot a lot of movies and stuff there because it's like the perfect dive bar. Like that's Josie's where it takes place, and they're always filming over there. Every time you walk by, it says untitled. Netflix show, and you're like, I wonder what it is. It's
and then there's
Josie's
a lot of
in the
pictures
window.
of Daredevil around.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything interesting?
No. I mean, they're always in the bar, so it's hard to tell. But I mean, you usually just see cast members standing outside.
Do they black out the window so you can't see?
They black out. Well, I mean, 'cause it's usually night scenes, so they have to have it dark.
But we were looking online, and some people have been like near the set or on the set or stuff like that, and they've seen people.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to give it away or not, but they've seen characters that have shown up in the show.
They've seen Punisher.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt.
Let's start out
ruin
there.
it for everybody.
If they don't know that by now, then they're living under a rock.
So Punisher has been seen.
Yeah, and he has been seen, and it's thus far it's John. Is it John? What's the guy's name? Barenthal, right?
Yeah, John.
John. Okay.
Yeah, from Walking Dead.
Yeah, he's in like a black T-shirt, black jeans, and black combat boots.
The one where he's like walking down the street or whatever.
It's all black.
With the big Punisher logo right on the front. It's like, wow, you came up with a logo before you developed the character.
No skull yet. So I suspect maybe by the end of the season we'll
One day I will be a superhero. I don't know what kind, but this is the logo I'm wearing.
So yeah,
okay,
that's cool.
hipster,
I can't wait.
Move on. Get out of here.
I can't wait.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Actually, we might actually hear even more stuff at D23 this coming weekend. There might be some
going on
Daredevil
too.
stuff.
I've been seeing on Periscope, Loot Crate's been videoing a lot down there. Explain to everybody what D23 is.
So D23 is Disney's big convention. It's been going on for years. D23 is their members club.
Do they do it in Orlando?
No, they do it in Anaheim,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, because Disneyland, I guess, was the original park. So
OG theme park.
Yeah. So, thank you. So it's their big convention, and it used to always be kind of cool. Like, you would get updates on the park, and you would get updates on, like, the new Pixar movies, and, like, the new animated projects, and, like, various things. But then, like, they acquired Marvel. And then, like, a couple years after that, they got Star Wars. So now, like, D23 has become this huge event. And Disney has been kind of smart. Like, they've been pulling in the reins on what they release on those really big properties at other conventions like San Diego. And they're saving it for D23, of course, because they want to
they want to make it their San Diego.
Of course, they want to make it their San Diego.
Double the exclusives.
Why wouldn't they? They have some of the most expensive, biggest properties. So, it started today. The only thing we really got out of today was some movie posters for the new Pixar films: Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, Cars 3.
Cars 3?
If they're trying to make this their San Diego Comic-Con, do they... Well, Star Trek also has a major convention that they do every year.
Yeah, but it's not like this, though. And that's not actually licensed. That's not like Paramount is putting it on. That's like a fan-run event.
The one that travels around the world?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Celebration, right?
No, Celebration is Star Wars. That's
what did I just say?
You said Star Trek.
Okay, this is when you're supposed to snap at me and go, wake up.
I thought maybe you legitimately were talking about Star Trek.
Dude, there's enough. Yeah. There's the possibility is right there.
Okay, then this is the point where you're supposed to snap at me, where I just corrected you for not knowing what I was thinking
Celebration.
about. Star Wars, that's the one I was thinking of. Star Wars Celebration is a big deal as well.
It is a big deal.
And it travels around the world. It's not just in one fixed place. Every time that they do it. So, are they doing Star Wars stuff at D23 as well?
Yeah, so here's the difference. Celebration is just Star Wars.
Right.
Like, that's it. Since D23 is all Disney, there's one panel on Saturday that is like movies, TV. It's like movies, TV, and something else is like all part of one really long panel.
Oh, nice.
And during the course of that panel, they're going to address Star Wars, they're going to address Marvel, they're going to address some more Pixar stuff. So it's it's a little bit more condensed. So it's, Star Wars is big enough to carry its own convention for 4 or 5 days. D23 is
4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. D23 is a bit more focused. So, no new Star Wars footage though. J.J. Abrams said no new Star Wars footage. So what I suspect we're going to get is, some more information on Rogue One, some more information on the Han Solo prequel movie.
You think there'll be like more like
information
stills?
on the TV shows?
Like maybe like more like pictures they'll release? Because I mean, they did that like Entertainment Weekly one or whatever that they just released a couple days ago.
And those were legit. Then, did you see the Luke Skywalker picture that got released? That got leaked? So there's a picture of Luke looking all Obi-Wan in robes.
What if you sent me the link
and,
to the new photos, right? Was it?
Yeah, I think it was me.
And it got yanked. Like, if you didn't see it, Disney went around to all the sites and pulled copyright. So I suspect that was something they planned on showing. Yeah. I mean, I saw it, but... because I clicked on it as soon as I saw it. He literally looked like Obi-Wan, except it was Mark Hamill.
Don't even answer it for Lisa. All she says is she sees is vaginas and penises. So
that's all she sees.
She saw the big flaming red penis with 2 penises shooting out the side.
Oh, terrible.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. So I think you'll get, you're going to get some information about some of that other Star Wars stuff, but no new footage on Episode 7. From Marvel, the big news is that you're going to get a Civil War trailer. And apparently... there are some people who are saying they've seen it already. You have to take this with a huge grain of salt, though. And they're saying that Spider-Man appears in the trailer like twice, and you see Crossbones, and all those things are legit. Like, Spider-Man is in that movie. He could appear in the trailer.
I heard that Black Panther is going to be in the trailer, too.
And did you see him on set? The set footage? And the amazing part about seeing him on set is, like, you look at it and you're like, holy shit, that actually looks like Black Panther. And then you look at Doom from the Fantastic Four movie, and you're like, who the fuck is this weird-looking robot? Like, I not to go off onto the Fantastic Four rant, although we certainly could talk about Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
It's just nice that Marvel still figures out a way to actually make their characters look like their characters, and Black Panther certainly looks like Black Panther in those scenes. So yeah, I think that's the biggest things you're going to get. And again, you might get some more information about some of those Pixar releases and what's on their animated schedule. So
you think they'll have like more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like next season stuff they'll talk about, or like in that like that kind of TV aspect of it, or
honestly, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back in soon, because it comes back in the fall.
Because it's like what, October or September?
It's I think you'll get less Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What I think you might get is Jessica Jones.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think you might get the first trailer for Jessica Jones.
Because that's Netflix, right?
That is Netflix, and it's like December. So that's far enough away where you can put out a trailer that makes sense. Like, S.H.I.E.L.D. is like a month and a half.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
It's like, what are you going to show, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but... I think Jessica Jones makes more sense.
That makes more sense.
With Jessica Jones starting, is that starting that whole, you'll see a new Marvel property every 6 months?
Yep, it'll be Jessica Jones, followed by Daredevil Season 2, probably followed by Luke Cage, potentially Daredevil Season 3, depending on how successful it is.
I think they'll get it.
Then to Iron Fist, then to Defenders, and then from so on and so on.
I've gotten to the point where there's just too much to watch, and I don't have enough time to watch everything that I want to watch.
Yeah, but at least those are condensed seasons, though. They're only like 12 episodes or 11 episodes.
You can watch them all in a day.
If you wanted to.
If you have that kind of time.
But like we said last week, I can't binge watch a show.
I can't either.
Because I just lose my interest in it.
No, I just don't have the time.
Well,
Believe me, I'd rather be sitting at home and watching 13 episodes of something.
I did binge, or almost binge, Wet Hot American Summer, though.
Yes, that's on my list, too, and I realized I never saw them. I thought for the longest time I saw the movie, and then I realized I didn't.
Oh, my God,
so
you have to see the movie.
They're both on my list. So I'm going to watch the movie
first,
and then I'm going to watch the show.
Yeah.
And here's what else sold me, too. I saw some art online that has Weird Al in it, so I was like,
yes,
sold.
Weird Al's in it.
Done.
The show was very funny.
I've heard good things.
I did enjoy it. It's a little bit... It's a little bit more ridiculous than the movie, if you can imagine that, because the movie is pretty ridiculous.
The first episode is pretty hilarious. I've only seen the first one so far because I didn't get a chance to binge it, and I really wanted to. But Paul Rudd's entrance was so good.
Amazing.
It was so good, and like he came out just like his character from the movie. It was so perfect.
Yeah, well, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but the show is crazier than the movie is.
Yeah. By far.
So you have to watch it. It's very funny.
I definitely will. It's on my list.
Just started watching.
I have somebody who wants to do a Rick impression for the Rick and Morty thing, so we'll get to that in 1 second. But this just got put out. Your boy Stephen Amell is part of SummerSlam, as we were mentioning earlier. He's in a tag team match with Neville, and he's squaring off versus Stardust and Wade Barrett.
Nice.
He just put out some official comic book art for SummerSlam.
Yeah, there's an artist on Instagram that I follow that does those images.
Is
but
that
it's
like
great.
8-bit? I can't see.
Yeah,
from
it's
here.
kind of like Street Fighter-ish.
Yeah, it looks like the old Street Fighter.
It looks awesome. The thing that they're doing with Neville, he's a wrestler that came up through NXT, which is their developmental league.
Right.
Neville is he's one of those really big high flying guys, and the whole theme around him is the man that gravity forgot, because he can do all these things off the rope, and it's incredible. So they're trying to make him into more of a super hero kind of role, and his Titantron and everything has comic book art, and then they draw versions of him and things like that. So the fact that and Stardust is just this weird character that Cody Rhodes became as well, which is might as well be the only one right now is Wade Barrett, who looks awkward, and he's wearing a robe and the crown and the scepter and stuff because he won King of the Ring, but he's the one that looks out of place compared to everybody else here.
Did you actually see the clip of Stephen Amell and Stardust from Raw last week?
When Stardust smacked him, and the way he hopped the rope, he hopped up on the ring, and then hopped the rope. He's been doing this before.
Well, so the thing that people don't realize is that Stephen Amell really, really owns that character. Like, he full on trains for that show. He does a lot of the stunts himself. He's a legit beast, like physically. Like, right. He's yeah, he like leaped over the partition. He leaped off over the.
Most people. Celebrities, when they
climb
participate
into the ring.
They get up they walk up the stairs. They don't hop up on the mat there, and then they kind of, they're pulling the ropes apart as they go through. He didn't even walk through. He grabbed the top rope, sprungboard right off, flew right over it, landed on his feet, and then speared the guy.
Speared him. Yeah,
it's like, all right, this is really going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, other than when we went, I guess a couple months ago. But put Stephen Amell in, and I'm down.
We got to get you the WWE Network.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
$9.99 a month.
That's it.
And they're not even paying me to say that. So anyway, the comic book art looks pretty good. Check out Amellywood, AMELLY Wood on Twitter. That's his official account. And he has the comic book art up there. It's pretty good looking. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to I know this guy, Jimmy in Boston. Jimmy, how are you?
Hey, Eric, how you doing? Hey, seriously, I'm so happy you're doing good at this show.
Thanks, man.
I'm really, honest to God, I shit on you all probably like, I don't know, 9 years, but I'm so happy. No, I'm serious.
I fucking hated you 9 years, but
you finally won me over.
Good to come in your own.
Dude, the only thing I can relate to with your program is Doctor Who in the 80s. That's it. That's the only
And we don't even talk about that.
I know, but I'm trying to catch on.
That's all right. Everybody is welcome here. This is a safe place.
I'm not even kidding you, Eric. I'm so fucking proud of you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, sir. You still have to do a Rick impression if you want to win this.
Rick and what? Jeremy? What?
You know what? If you do a good Rick and Jeremy impression.
I don't even know these guys.
I had my hopes up. I was hoping for
Ironically, that wasn't a bad impression.
This was alternate dimension, Rick.
I don't even know. Rick and Jeremy? Or
Right. Exactly. Rick and Jeremy. Do a Rick and Jeremy impression for me, sir.
Oh, hello there.
I think we have a Berenstein Bear book with you, right?
Oh, my God.
How you doing?
All right. You know what? I'm going to put you on hold here.
So far, you're the best.
So far, you're in the lead. But even if you don't win it, I'm sending Jimmy something. So hang on hold here.
I can't wait for Rick and Jeremy.
Lewis is going to get your information. But then, Lewis, when you're done, put him back on hold. Don't hang up on him. Okay. Let's go to Rhino in Brooklyn. Rhino, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Long time, first time here.
Okay.
I just wanted to call and say that Gittles is nothing but a punk ass, bitch. He got nothing on Rick and Morty, that's for sure. The second season is killing it so far.
Well, that was a legit burp. I would say, out of anything, I'm going to put you on hold here, and don't take his information yet. He's just going to be on hold.
Yeah, put him on hold.
Let's go to line 3. Oh, line 3 left.
Punk ass, bitch ass
he
punk.
hung up.
That's a pretty good impression of a dial tone.
It is, but that's not what we were looking for. 866-969-1969. We got a few minutes here before we have to go to break and welcome Candace Cameron-Bure onto the program. We're going to talk about her new book. Where is it? It's over here. Dancing Through Life, Steps of Courage and Conviction. It's about her time on Dancing with the Stars. And more importantly, Fuller House. We're going to talk about Fuller House.
Nice.
Everybody wants to talk about Fuller House.
Penis jerking motion.
Oh my God.
It's flossing.
That is horrible. That's very unchristian of you. All right, you know what? Screw it. Jimmy, you there?
Yeah, hey, what's up?
All right, you won Rick and Jeremy. I'm just going to give it to you.
Rick and Jeremy? He doesn't even know Rick and Jeremy.
Yeah, no, I know Rick and Jeremy.
It's the show after this.
They're on your show right now.
Right. All right. Lewis Scott, you have his information, right? Okay, so for right now, Jimmy in Boston has won this. Thank you for calling, man. I appreciate it. Unless somebody else calls him with an actual legit Rick and Jeremy impression, then this is going to Jimmy in Boston there. So you got about 5-6 minutes to call in if you want to try to win this thing.
All right.
Fantastic Four.
Yes.
We, as a collective, have been calling this for about a year.
Fantastic flop.
You leading the charge on this.
Of course.
It is exactly what everyone thought it would be.
Global box office right now. So
It's actually
domination, right?
Yeah, 71 million.
It's actually worse than people thought because they projected like 45 million for opening weekend and it only did 26.
Yeah,
like,
it didn't even do 26. They did it was like 25 and change.
Oh, once they got the numbers, they're like, oh, no, I'm sorry.
We're sorry. We got to take away $500,000 because you suck even more.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so now what we're finding out is all of this shit went on behind the scenes. I mean, Josh Trank was apparently a hot mess on the set. Him and Miles Teller almost came to blows on the set, like chest bumping.
Yeah,
you read that, right?
I read that they're like Josh Trank and like Fox are both lawyering up right now about this movie. Like it's just a big clusterfuck.
Yeah, well, because Fox is going to take a bad. I mean, the movie was 120 to produce, and then that's
60 million in advertising.
Is right. So 60, 40 or 50, whatever in advertising. So I mean, they're nowhere near that. And for the global box office, so normally when you see like the box office numbers, it's like. Your domestic will be like 50 million, let's say, right? But then your international is like 150 million. It's normally like 2 or 3 times more because obviously it's so many more markets. No, this was like 26. This was like 25 and change domestic, and then it was only like 30 million global for that
it wasn't
open
a lot.
weekend. So 71 global right now. That's nothing. I mean, this movie is taking a bath, and it's got competition. Mission Impossible is still doing really, really good.
Which I've heard good things about.
In the box office. And something else opens this week. Something else opened today that was pretty big.
Compton. Straight Outta Compton opens tonight.
No, but there was something.
That's why we opened the show with it.
There was something else this week that's kind of big. So it's certainly not going to have a second. It's not going to have a strong second weekend. If anything, it's going to be worse, right?
They already said that they're like canning the sequel too, I think.
Yeah, so Fox greenlit the sequel before the movie opened.
Oh, tonight is Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh, right, which looks really good.
Dude, it's who's
Henry Cavill?
Guy Ritchie, right?
It's Guy Ritchie is directing it, and Henry Cavill stars in it.
And our friend Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammer,
is in there. I'm actually, this does look kind of cool. I'll watch it because I knew, when they announced it, I knew it was an old TV show, but I didn't know what the hell the TV show was about. And I went back and watched the old show because it's from the 60s.
Yeah.
Not that good. But the premise now, an American spy and a agent and a Russian agent are fighting the Syndicate, which is a universal bad guy. It's a pretty cool concept.
I feel like this is just right up Guy Ritchie's alley too. It's like with Snatch and like Lock, Stock, like that kind of vibe almost. I feel. I think it's going to be pretty good.
I don't think it is his vibe naturally, but I think that putting his vibe on it.
That's what I mean. I think he's going to put like a good spin on it.
So, and I love Guy Ritchie. I mean,
his films are great.
Yeah, fantastic. So Fantastic Four is not going to do well this weekend.
So you have Man from U.N.C.L.E. Mission Impossible still very strong. Straight Outta Compton is if it's not going to be second, it'll be third.
But I don't think that's getting a full theatrical release, is it? I thought that was getting a smaller release. I could be wrong.
2,700 plus theaters.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, that's not full, but that's a majority of the country.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think Straight Outta Compton's going to do really well.
Oh, it absolutely is going to do really well.
I've been reading articles about how people have been complaining about the authenticity of the story because they didn't put in the part of the story with Dr. Dre and D. Barnes. Remember?
Yeah, but
do you remember that story? No, back in was it like 89, 90? There was a entertainment reporter that got her clock cleaned allegedly, or maybe not allegedly, maybe it was found out by Dr. Dre. Became a big deal and that for being misogynistic and abusive and all that. And it's not in the biopic here, so people are complaining. Why isn't that? Why would you put it in?
Yeah, all right,
it's your own biopic. I'm not going to put in the Dre came out and said, "Look, I made a lot of mistakes." I regret some of them, not all of them, and I paid for them. He's moved on.
Look, if it's something that he's never actually admitted to, because we're not sure, then of course you're not going to put it in the pic. I mean,
right?
Why would you do that?
He punches her. He's like, "It's okay, I'm a doctor."
Yeah, I don't think that works that way.
Yeah.
All right, I got to point this out. I've been watching this for about 5 minutes.
I've been wondering what you're staring at.
See the guy down the hallway there? Wearing the do-rag?
Uh-huh.
He has these cups. Watch, there he goes. He's been trying to do these trick shots with multiple cups on top of each other while trying to throw them into the garbage can. And when he keeps missing, he goes and picks them up and keeps doing it over and over.
Oof.
I think he just got it in because now he's walking away.
I think we should go periscope
Why is he like swim walking? What is?
I don't know.
He's like doing the.
We know swim walk is Jimmy Norton's thing here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're not allowed to swim walk.
I'm sorry. My bad.
I don't know, but that's just insanity. There's some really weird people that work here.
Well, it's a Friday night at 9:30.
Doesn't matter. Who's sitting there doing what's that dumb cup
freaks
game?
Come
yeah,
out
like
at
that.
night.
Flip cup.
The freaks come
the other
out
one.
at
Cup
night.
stacking.
The one from the movie that every girl learned.
It's from Pitch
Drinking
Perfect.
out of cups.
Yeah, drinking out of cups.
Anna Kendrick.
Seahorses rule.
Two girls, one cup.
Oh no.
That's the one I was
Is
thinking.
that the one you were thinking of?
Yes,
That's what he's
exactly what I
playing.
was
He's
thinking.
playing two girls, one cup.
So Fantastic Four, big bomb.
Big bomb.
I'm still gonna see it. I'm gonna go hate watch it.
So I've actually been getting a lot of flack from people who are like, who are like, you shouldn't be shitting on it if you haven't seen it. And I'm calling Bravo Sierra on those people because
we are an XL platform. You can say the word.
I know, but I felt like saying Bravo
Stop
Sierra.
classing up the joint.
So for years, like there's like this group of people like in the pop culture community. You're like, you know what? You're the kind of guy who's like, that movie fucking sucks, but you're the first person to go buy a ticket and see it. So stop complaining.
No, we're not.
So I'm the
we
guy
did a whole
that's
show
not
last
buying
week telling
the
you
ticket.
not to watch the movie.
We did.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying that
I'm
there
getting
are
angry
people that
for
feel-
you.
Well, you should.
I am.
But I'm not supporting it. I'm not going to see it. I don't even know that I'm going to see it on Netflix. I have no interest in seeing characters that I actually care about further bastardized. Why would I support that?
Exactly. We told you not to see it. We told you after the origin of their powers, which is like 10 to 15 minutes, the rest of the movie sucks.
Right.
So you don't need to see it.
You have less than an 8-minute climax scene. Ben Grimm and Human Torch have one line together in the entire film. They exchange one line.
Everyone said it's like a 1 hour trailer for a movie that never happens.
Yes.
Like that's what I've heard. that's what I've heard.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So where do you think we go here? Because Deadpool's going to be a success.
Absolutely.
We'll see how X-Men does. I'm sure it'll just do fine.
Fox greenlit the Fantastic Four 2 before the movie opened. They haven't officially said that they're pulling back on it.
I thought I'd read that they did, but I could be wrong.
I can't imagine they move forward with Fantastic Four 2. This is too big of a bomb to gamble.
I can't imagine either that Fox would say, no, we still own it. We don't want them to have it. We're going to make the second property. When you lost so much money, they could just say, this is not worth our time and effort. We don't care. Give it away. We'll keep X-Men.
Especially because I think Deadpool is going to do great.
Right.
Deadpool's gonna be huge.
I think Age of Apocalypse.
When is Deadpool coming out?
February. And I think Age of Apocalypse is going to do
next
good,
summer,
too.
right?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So I think Fox still has enough viable properties, and they have another Wolverine movie coming, and they have the Gambit movie coming. They have a lot of properties coming still. They don't need Fantastic Four.
All right.
And they have that Devil and Dinosaur Girl comic book.
What the fuck is that nonsense? Moon Girl and Dinosaur or some
I have
shit?
no idea,
What the
man.
fuck?
We're going to have to take a break. Quick, James in Utah, you want to burp and do Tom Cruise?
At the same time?
James, you there?
Yes, please, I'm working on my birth.
What?
And my Tom Cruise is, I'm not in the plane. I'm on the plane.
All right, both were awful. Jimmy, you're back from Boston. What's up, my man?
Let's send him something.
Oh, my fucking app died, dude. I'm trying to listen to this shit. My app just fucking died out.
Okay, well, so did this phone call, but we'll put you on hold. Here you go. There we go. All right, we got to take a break. Yes. Anything else that we need to touch on real quick before we get to Candace Cameron?
Nah, that's it.
Nothing. All right, we'll go to Candace Cameron, talk to her, do plugs, wrap up the show. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a real treat for myself as I welcome Candace Cameron-Bure to the studio. It's weird.
Thank you.
We're around the same age, and it's weird for me to say that I kind of grew up with you. Like I grew up on watching you on TV.
Because I was in your living room on television, right?
Right. Because I to be honest, everybody knows you from Full House, but I remember you did a bit part on Growing Pains, your brother's series.
Yeah.
And then Full House came about, and that's where, you grew up, and America fell in love with you and whatnot. And then you went on a whole bunch of other ventures, including the reason that you're here now for your book, Dancing Through Life, Steps of Courage and Conviction, when you went on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
You're
it was an
girl.
amazing experience. Yeah, I've been busy. I got a couple of things I'm doing.
Going through the book, it was an interesting time in your life with this show, and the whole scheme of things wasn't a lot of time as far as that show goes, as far as, your training, the actual show, and to where you ended with the show, and to be able to put out a book where so much seems to have happened and affected you and changed you for the better. From a TV show of all things in such a short period of time compared to your whole lifespan of, with Full House and with, your strong, religious beliefs and life and what have you there, that to come through with a book like this on such, I guess a microcosm of what your entire life is all about.
Right. Definitely. I had wanted to write a book on conviction for a while, and I really felt like I didn't have the right platform or the way in which I wanted to write it well. And after my experience on Dancing with the Stars, which was 4 months because I went to the finish line, I came in third on the show. It really transformed me in, like you said, in such a short amount of time, but the changes were so everlasting. The lessons that I learned I will take with me forever throughout my life. And that's how much it affected me. But it was one of those things that I was scheduled to write a different book. And after the show ended, I called up my editor and I said, I want to write about this opportunity. And I think using Dancing with the Stars is the perfect framework to write about courage and conviction, because that's really what this whole experience was about. And so the book, even though, yes, I use Dancing with the Stars, I talk all about each week on the show, and you get a behind the scenes look. So if you're a Dancing with the Stars fan, you'll enjoy it from that aspect. But if you've never even seen the show, there's just so much more to the book than it's not really about Dancing with the Stars.
Right.
It's about living life with courage and conviction.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because I only got into Dancing with the Stars, later on when it's on. And I remember that it's on, and the book does reflect where at first you're thinking, oh, it's just behind the scenes of the show, but it's really like, this was my time during the show, but this is what my life was doing while I was doing this. So it really stands apart, where if you don't know the show, you can still enjoy the book and still understand everything you were going through.
100%. Yeah.
Did you get any pushback when you decided to do this book? You said you were telling your editor, not necessarily from, the book publisher, but from Dancing with the Stars, and saying, hey, I'm going to do this book. Did they kind of look at it and go, there might be some issues with this? Or?
They certainly were, wanted to know exactly what it was about. They're like, what are you writing, some kind of tell-all and going to share all of our secrets? Not that I think they have these big secrets.
Don't tell them about catering.
But yeah, they certainly wanted to know. And when we gave them the outline of the book and even the chapters of what the content was going to be like, they saw it and read it. And they obviously know who I am and what my points of view are. And when I explained this is what the heart of the book is and what I want to write about, they were completely on board, and they said, oh, go right ahead. But I am the first one to write a book that, talks about the entire experience, because other people that have written books who've been on that show, it might be a chapter or a paragraph about Dancing with the Stars, but this book is about the entire 12-week journey.
Yeah, some people would use it just like as a footnote in whatever their whole career is and everything, and you really went put yourself under your own microscope.
Yeah,
it wasn't like somebody did an expose or a reporter was saying, "Hey, look, I'm going to write sort of an autobiography on you in this portion of your life." You're going, "I'm going to put myself up front, and I'm going to dissect myself and kind of break yourself down and put yourself back together in a better way."
Yeah, because I think that's what I love in life. When you hear, we all want to learn from one another. We kind of want to know what secret works for you? What doesn't work for you? What experience have you had that helped you here and helped you there? And I love to encourage people. I would love to inspire people. I like being inspired by other people. And so that's why I write the books that I do. This is my third one. And I feel like, hey, if I gain some knowledge along the way that can help someone else, I want to pass it on.
When you decided to go this route, you said you were going to write a different kind of book, but then you went this way. What kind of consideration was laying on you as far as, all right, if I do this and dissect myself here, how did you judge it as far as how it may affect your family? Like, putting yourself out there is one thing, being a public figure, but did you worry that, oh my God, this could open my family up to something else that I don't want? Or, I mean, was that a concern?
No. My family means everything to me, and my husband and my 3 kids, and they rode this journey along with me, and they were there through it all. But I'm a really open and honest person. Obviously, if I'm going to talk about something publicly, I would never be afraid to talk about that with my family. It's been discussed with my family before I would share something publicly. So they were excited. They loved the journey along with me. Even as a mom, that was a big part of the journey of being open and put my fears aside and be courageous enough to do something that was totally out of my comfort zone. And I think that's a great lesson as a mom, to not only talk about that with your kids, but for them to see it in action.
Hey, that's good, because I would worry too. I mean, doing radio, whenever, I really don't mention my family or my personal life if I don't have to. If it makes sense, I would, but just because there's people out there, it's like, I don't want them going after, opening up my family to, criticism or scrutiny or anything like that, just because I'm trying to, be honest about myself and my life. So I know that always weighs heavily on what I'm going to say and how I say things. I just didn't know if that was leaning very heavy as far as your choice.
I kind of put everything out there, and my family knows it. My book before this was called Balancing It All, and it was, how I juggle being a working woman and having 3 kids, and yet there's so many stories that I talk about my kids, and of course I ask them. There's stories in this book with my kids that I use as examples, and I always make sure they're comfortable with it. But I was like, hey, do you mind if I write about when this happened and that happened? And if my kids say, hey, can you just not share that part? Of course, I would never do that. But, my husband also is a professional hockey player. I've been in the spotlight since I was 5 years old working. We just have that life where we're comfortable sharing it with everybody. And I know not everyone is, but for me, it's, like easy breezy, and I don't mind. And my kids are the loves of my life. So they kind of know, like, Mom's going to talk about us.
I don't know what stories I can talk about, because we obviously want people to go and get the book and read everything. The book is Dancing Through Life, Steps of Courage and Conviction. But one of the stories I found interesting was the mermaid costume issue.
The Ariel
costume. Can we talk a little bit about that? Can you explain what this issue was?
Yeah, well, it came down to modesty, which is what a lot of that chapter was all about. But I had made a comment in the beginning of the show before, when I decided to do Dancing with the Stars. They said, well, what do you feel about the costumes? And I just said, I love the costumes. It's amazing, but I definitely want to stay on the more modest side of costumes. Cause really, if you want to go out in just a bra and a G-string, you could.
Which a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. And I was like, but that's not me. So I want to have fun. I want to enjoy the costumes, but be on the more modest side. So it was, there was so much controversy that I got this song Mark Ballas and I danced to from The Little Mermaid, and I was dressed as Ariel, and Mark was dressed as Sebastian the Crab, and it ended up being one of the favorite dances of the entire journey for the fans and for me. But because it was like these little seashells that you wear as a top and, the stomach is exposed in this mermaid skirt, you couldn't imagine that a costume could cause so much controversy. And when you look at it, it really,
it was nothing.
It was nothing.
That was a 1950s style complaint. You know,
completely.
She's showing her ankles. Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's a heathen.
To the credit of the costumers, because it was great, they made a costume that allowed me to feel really comfortable and confident and good in that I knew wasn't going against any of my own personal convictions. And I learned along the way that, listen, we all have different convictions. We have to stay true to what ours are.
Right.
And, we're not going to please everybody. But then, I talk a lot more about, well, what does modesty really mean? I think modesty is more than just hemlines and necklines. I think it's the way we carry ourselves and our character and how we treat one another. And so there's all those kinds of life lessons within the book.
Now, Disney ABC didn't have a problem, right? It was more of the viewer,
no, not at all.
The viewer,
just some of the people were,
that, right?
yes.
So this is what I found interesting about this particular, with the modesty lesson and all. But Dancing with the Stars, ABC, Disney property. Disney, obviously owns Little Mermaid.
Right.
Everyone's cool with it.
Yeah.
But people watching are having the problem. It's like, what era are we stuck in?
I'm a Christian. No, I'm a Christian woman, and I have a very specific audience.
Right.
I have quite a broad audience, but within my Christian community, there's certain standards, which, a lot of people think I am a conservative person.
Right.
But within that community, not everything's black and white. There is gray, and that's where we have to make choices based upon our own conviction. But some people who think, maybe I'm not conservative enough. But some people think I'm not liberal enough.
I get that. Okay. I understand that, especially, with the community that you're a part of. It's a family movie. It's a children's movie, in a lot of ways. And you're just portraying the character.
Yeah.
It's not like you were wearing fishnets and, like some kind of thong and leather and whatever.
Well, I think after it was finished, it was much more well received. But there's always those people in the bunch, no matter what group you're associated with. You always have some people that just don't see it your way and will nitpick and call you out on whatever they can. But I mean, after that particular week and I wore the costume and did the dance, there was a lot of great and wonderful positive feedback.
I saw a lot of it. I went back and looked at a lot of stuff, especially the videos that are on their website and YouTube in the comment section, and everyone thought you looked beautiful. And the dance, I think, was like the dance of the night as far as what you guys did.
Super fun.
So, reading about the turmoil and this little controversy, if you want to call that, it just seemed
It was a lot. It was, that particular week had made me so sick to my stomach because that was the kind of turmoil I was dealing with, was like, well, this group of people, I know they're going to be upset if I wear this. And these people, and it came down to me trying to please everybody.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the lesson that I learned is I'm not going to. And as long as I'm comfortable
with the choices
and I
make.
can stand before God, I could stand before my husband, my kids, whoever those important people are in my life and say, I'm okay with this decision. I'm not going to regret this decision. That's what I have to be okay with.
Now, with that said, there was another portion of the book here where you were talking about your responsibility as far as your social media was concerned, because you started to notice by being on the show, your Facebook likes went through the roof, your Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff, and you started to. I know the shows were encouraging you to be more socially active, to promote the show, promote what you're doing, but. I guess anybody who isn't in that position doesn't realize the heavy responsibility and almost a burden that's put on you to be public like that, forcefully be public like that, and then deal with the fact that everybody's now paying attention. Usually it's like you throw stuff out there and hope somebody sees it, or maybe somebody will get the comment or the joke you're trying to make. But now everyone is like, it's like having a concert, and then everyone turns around from the stage and is now looking at you in the back of the concert there. So, you were explaining about your social media and the responsibility that comes with it. How did that hit you right away, and then how have you progressed since then?
Well, I love social media. It's such a great way that I get to connect with my fans, and that's how I see it. So I'm one of those people that really enjoys it. I like the interaction, and I do it all myself. I don't have people running my social media for me. But with that said, because I have millions of followers on social media, it can sometimes get really, really tough. And especially for the people that don't agree with you and can be really mean and hateful. I mean, at some point you just have to turn it off and not allow it. But at the same time, that stinks because I really enjoy interacting with people and having conversations and the banter back and forth. And I mean, the reality is we're in the entertainment industry. So without your fans, without people watching you, we aren't able to do what we want to do. So I really like social media, but, I had to learn how to use my block button and my delete button. I've gotten much better at that.
With Twitter, if you just hit mute, you don't see their comments, but you still get the followers. Your count doesn't go down. So this way you're blocking it, but keeping your numbers up.
That's good.
Little trick if you haven't looked at that.
I just block them because I just want, I'm like, if someone's being that mean and negative, I'm like, I don't need that in my life.
Right.
I don't want to read it. I don't want it anywhere around me. But, so I do talk about in the book of how should we conduct ourselves online? How should we talk to one another when we disagree with people, or when we think that we need to tell someone that they're doing things wrong, or they're not making good choices? I mean, at what point do we say that online? Do we call someone out? Especially too, if you don't know that person well, and I'm not just talking about a celebrity, but if you're on a Facebook page, you're a friend of a friend of a friend that you comment on their page. And I think that so many people can hide behind a computer screen and write things that they would never say face to face to a person. And that's what happens with it. And so, I hope I send a good word and hope that people would consider how they talk to one another online and to be encouraging instead of negative and discouraging or mean.
You said about being in the entertainment industry, and you've been a person, and your family have been people who are very strong in their convictions and true to their religious beliefs, and been very public about it. When did that all start to sink in as far as the religious importance in your life? Was it during, was it before Full House? Was it during? Was it after? And, I don't want to say how, because I guess everything explains it, but I guess applaud you for the fact that you still maintain that in a time when, religion right now kind of gets everyone looks down upon it, or it's saying it's causing a lot of problems, whatever, and people really aren't fans nowadays, or even sticking with their own religion.
Yeah.
When did you find out that this was important to you, and the whole progress of keeping that value while also being in the entertainment industry?
Yeah. I started going to church at 12 years old, so it wasn't something that I was brought up with for my entire childhood. But at church, I started, at 12, I started going to church, but it didn't really become personal for me of making a conscious decision of like, hey, I actually want to read the Bible. I actually want to know what this says, and I want to believe it because I believe it, not because my parents taught it to me.
Right.
And that was in my early 20s. And I remember, I read this a really great book, that got me called The Way of the Master, that just got me thinking. And I'm like, I want to know at the end of the day, is this truly what I believe? And if I do believe it, I can't pick and choose the parts that I want to believe or that sound good or make me feel comfortable. I'm either going to believe it for what it is or not. And so that, again, was in my early 20s, and I decided that, hey, God's really important to me, and I want to know who he is, and I want that relationship with him for me. I mean, between the two of us, and that's really been it. But I think once that clicked for me, because it's not like listen, I wasn't like a child actor that went down some bad path or got into drugs.
Yeah, you totally avoided the childhood actor
so
syndrome.
It wasn't, people can, say that religion's a crutch, and I'm like, I've been living a very good and healthy life that is, I feel really blessed and grateful and thankful for. I'm like, but I never hit a wall where I'm like, oh, things are getting bad. I need to turn to something. So this really was a conscious decision of saying, I'm actually going to read the book and see what it has to say. And then I'm going to decide if I believe it. And I do. And that for me, I think is why when you ask or say, appreciate that I've stayed true to it, it's because I actually genuinely believe it. And I want to walk the walk. I don't want to just talk the talk and say I believe something, but it's really half-hearted.
Did that sit in your head, or at least maybe in your parents' head, when you're doing acting as a child, that especially with the Full House had such a long run, that you maybe in your head like, oh man, I hope, after this is done, this isn't the end for me. I hope, I'm not going to go down this path. Were you conscious at that time that you were going to focus and not go down that path, as you said, like other childhood actors do?
No, that just isn't who I am. I have great parents, and I had a great childhood, and it just wasn't something that I wanted to be a part of. So, I have good, like I said, good family, good friends, and
so nobody worried about it. They were like, she's a good kid. She'll come out of this okay.
Totally, yeah.
I'm running out of time with you. The book is Dancing Through Life: Steps of Courage and Conviction. You can get it Amazon and wherever books are still sold.
Yep.
If you find a bookstore
everywhere,
after you marvel at the fact that there's a physical bookstore, go in there and get the book. There's
lots of great pictures in there. There's a Kindle version, but there's 64 pictures in there if you pick up the real.
Well, I did enjoy
really
the photo. You can't do an interview, I guess, without a little bit of Full House being mentioned in there. But
yes.
With Andrea there behind the scenes,
and we have
you.
our new show Fuller House that'll be on Netflix next year, which we're having a blast. We've taped 2 episodes so far.
Does it feel like you never left?
Yeah, it does.
It just clicked right away again?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, we've all maintained our friendships forever, and we're all really close, but it's so great.
We, on the morning show that I work on, Opie and Jimmy, Bob Saget is a good friend of ours. He's been a regular for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And Bob never has anything bad to say about the show, but he really loves you kids as if you were his own. He has nothing but great things to say about you every time.
None of us have
something
anything
comes up.
bad to say about each other. We all love each other.
No, but I just found it adorable that he treats you as if you were, really his kid, even though he played your TV father.
I feel like I take care of him all the time. I am like his real life daughter, always looking out for his best interest. I love him. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
Fuller House on Netflix coming out next year, you said?
Yes.
Did you ever, while doing Full House, did you ever watch Dave Coulier's other show, Out of Control, when it was on Nickelodeon?
Oh, I remember that. Oh, goodness, it's been such a long time, but I remember he had that show.
Okay, I was just curious because he did. I saw some of those things translate into eventually characters and Joeyisms as far as Full House goes from that show. So I was just wondering because as a kid I watched it because it was on Nickelodeon all the time. I was just wondering if you ever saw that either.
I know I did back in the day, but it's been a long time. It's probably been 20 some odd years.
Well, Candace, thank you so much. Candace-Bure on Twitter and Instagram. It's CandaceCameron-Bure.net is the official website for you. All right. And the book, Dancing Through Life: Steps of Courage and Conviction. It's your 3rd book.
Yes.
Go out and get it, Amazon and wherever books are sold.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for coming in. I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you. And like I said, we're around the same age, but I grew up watching you. That's such a weird thing to say, but it's the truth.
Know.
And I really appreciate you coming in. And when Fuller House comes around, I'd love to talk to you again.
Sounds great. I'd love to.
Thank you.
Whoops, you know what the music means. Our time is up.
It is that time of the evening where we get to go home.
Yay!
And this show is over and we get to forget about it for another week.
And then
it comes back again.
Huzzah!
Yay. And then we're like, crap, we have to do it all over again. Last week didn't
never
count.
Say that. Ever.
I say it to myself.
Well, that's you.
When I'm driving home and I go, God damn, it's 11 o'clock. I wish I was home early.
Anyway, we're here.
We're here.
With 30 seconds left
Get
on the
used to
clock.
it.
We don't want any more bears.
Right. So thank you for listening to another edition of It's Erik Nagel. And let's thank our guests. You just heard Candace Cameron-Bure. We have a copy of her book we'll give out on the Twitter.
Nice.
Dancing Through Life and other stuff listed on the title that I can't see right there. But it's a good book, and she's very nice. She was very cool. And Fuller House is coming to Netflix, I think, in 2016.
Yep.
So we'll be looking for that. Rooster McConaughey and Butch Gilliam for West Texas Investors Club. Thank you to those guys for coming in. It's on CNBC. Check out that show. Your Divas champion, Nikki Bella. SummerSlam next Sunday.
That's right.
7 p.m. Get the WWE Network. Check out SummerSlam. It's going to be quite the ordeal. Matt's watching it strictly for Stephen Amell and Neville versus Stardust and Wade Barrett.
That's it. That's the only thing I want to say.
He's coming in, watching it, turning it off.
That's it.
You're a horrible wrestling fan, but at least you're checking it out.
I am a
I'll give you
horrible
kudos
wrestling
for
fan.
that. And of course, our brand new best friend for life, Justin Roiland.
Yes.
From Rick and Morty. Couldn't have been cooler. If you missed the interview, this whole show will be up on SiriusXM On Demand and other places later on.
Indeed.
Rick and Morty Season 2 out right now on Adult Swim. Catch it up on Demand and the Adult Swim website. Season 3 was just announced, which is great. So we'll be waiting for that. Let's go around the room. Matt OG.
Geek Stuff OG on Twitter and Instagram. BK Geek Stuff for my podcast every Thursday. And I think that's it for now.
Giddles.
Giddle Base on the Twitter and Instagram. This Sunday, I'm not doing this takedown, but if you're in Brooklyn, there's a homebrew takedown, so it's going to be 2 hours of homebrewed beer, so come on out. Hill Country Barbecue.
That's always a good time.
Yep.
Nice. And, of course, Giddles will be walking around in and off the set of Daredevil.
Oh, yeah. You will get on-set reports from me. They'll be like, who is this guy? He's the Daredevil, all right.
So be on the lookout for that. Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter and see the updates as they come. Lisa?
Twitter, Lisa Correo. And Our Big Apartment Show, of course, my little webcam show. And I guess stand-up Wednesday, I'll be at QED doing a quiet comedy show, which is where the whole audience wears headphones. And
is it like those dark restaurants where all the lights are out and you have to try to find your food?
There's going to be 2 comedians on stage at once, and we're wearing headphones too, so we can't hear the other. And then the audience picks which one they want to hear. It's weird.
That sounds really weird.
I would go see that.
Wednesday, QED in Astoria.
I feel like that's seeing like comedy in the future, but now.
Yeah, there you go.
It's very Demolition Man.
Yeah, I want to see that.
And if you're not funny, do they get to like shock you? Is it like one of those test subject things?
Oh, I hope so.
Wow. You get to fall into the water tank, a pit of snakes.
You get to drink from the fire hose.
The fire hose. No, that's for the winner.
Yeah.
The loser has more humiliating stuff. It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Follow all those things, please, if you'd be so kind. For myself, it's eRock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. August 26th, Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, here on Opie Radio. We will be filling in for Opie and Jimmy, Kevin Smith, Comic Book Men, Brian Johnson, Felicia Day, all kinds of cool stuff. And then also, there's a show next week. We don't know who's on it, but we'll be back next week. See you later. Till next time, be seeing ya.